televised headline and main event. Maybe that's for starters when we at the party. My middle name should be after party, yo. Last name, whoa. First name, wow. You ain't getting to it, I'm hanging up, don't wanna hang out. Wrong time, right place, baby, watch out. It's about to go down like a knockout. Here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again. We gon' make 'em say. We gon' make 'em say. We gon' make 'em say. Here we go again.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the AutoZone Streets of Long Beach, presented by Type S. We are here, and the fans are beginning to stream in. We are just here on the waterfront, and it's great to be back here at the exact time, the week before the Grand Prix of Long Beach, making our own history. I mean, we've seen F1, we've seen Champ Car, we've seen IndyCar, and Formula Drift has their history of their own on these famed turns, 9, 10, 11 of the Indy track. So thank you so much for joining us live or in the building. The cars are streaming in, the fans are excited. Again, the AutoZone Streets of Long Beach, presented by Type S. Joining me in the booth, we're changing things up a little bit. His name is still Ryan, but he's from a different country. He's got glasses on. We've seen him before. 12 years you've been in the judges booth, but now you're doing double duty. You're a busy man. Ryan Lontaine is now next to me. Thank you so much, Ryan Sage, as he stepped up to and risen from VP of Marketing, co-founder. Now he is sole president. But, dude, it's great to have you here.
It's nice to be here, Jared.
Yeah.
I've always looked up with love and admiration to the higher level here with the beautiful Brid seats.
Your Brid seat is much more comfortable in that folding chair that you've been kind of remiss to.
Finally get up in the special chair, so I'm really happy to be here.
Well, I think you're going to add a great contribution. You know, we've tapped you in the past and said, like, hey, you know, Ryan, give us your insight. You know, this now we just go straight to the judge's mouth. Mm-hmm. You're going to tell us kind of your insight. You're doing double duty. You got your tablet here.
Yep.
Joining us in the judge's booth once again, Brian Eggert and Chris Yule. And Brian Eggert, we've had him for shoot, I mean, how many is it? 14, 11?
11, yeah. He's one year less than me.
Okay, I apologize.
1 year less than me, yeah.
Again, it all kind of blends together. But we're up in the booth, baby. You see my hands right there. It's a beautiful day. A little cold, but guess what? That's going to make the air rich. The cars are going to run proper. Slight little breeze, but yesterday it heated up, and that changed the track conditions. So I'm really excited to see what's going to be going down. Remember, this is round one. And it, you know, begins here, but it ends not too far from here, the House of Drift. Also, we got a new stop this year. We're not going to Erie, Pennsylvania. Great track, just logistically, the closest airport is 2 hours away. So we kick things off in Long Beach, Atlanta, Orlando, E-Town, the first ever U.S. purpose-built drift coliseum, St. Louis, Missouri, Monroe, Washington, and look at that, September 15th, 17th. Brand new venue for us in Utah Motorsports campus, and it ends October 14th and 15th, the House of Drift. What's your favorite track, Ryan?
It's so hard to say. You know, I was a big fan of Wall because it was like a drift stadium, but now we have the Englishtown Drift Stadium. So that's kind of taken over that. I just love that viewpoint. You can see everything that's happening. Irwindale has a special place just because it's the finals and there's a special electricity in the air there. But I'm really excited about Utah. All right.
I like Atlanta. Just thank you for asking. Rome Charpentier, I told you, I threatened. He was up here in the booth early on, late in qualifying, but guess what? Qualifies 5th. The Garagistic E36. What are your expectations for Rome this year?
He's looking amazing here. He got further out into zone 2 and 3 than the majority of drivers yesterday, and he was looking so comfortable and confident, and I think that confidence is going to help him today if he can kind of hold on to it.
Yep, exactly. Qualifying 4th position, the Falcon Tire Field Suspension S15, Odi Bakchis. You know, he knows this track. He's become one of the best chasers in the biz. Expectations for him?
Well, I'm looking for him to fill the track a little bit more. You can see there that he's off a couple of the zones, but he made up for it in the other criteria. So yesterday, a lot of people had trouble filling all those zones. We'll see how he does today.
Yeah, the frenemies. Matt Field, he's back. He's better than ever.
Yeah, look at the way he's getting out to the zones here. This is his, what, third year in the Corvette now? He's very comfortable in it, and he got so close last season, so he's going to have to capitalize on this first round to really set himself up for the whole season.
Look at all this American horsepower here. Another one, qualifying 2nd overall, 4th overall in the championship. He was a real contender last year. New livery, but the same turn it to 11 attitude, Chelsea Ternofa.
Yeah, you can see the way he gets out to that wall. He has no fear here. He just spun in his last round of practice here and had a little tussle with another driver. So hopefully they get the car fixed and get it back out for competition today.
Say howdy, get rowdy. The Pennzoil, RTR, Mustang Spec 5D. But all this American horsepower, guess what? A 4-cylinder, turbocharged, nitrous, Toyota Toyota GR Corolla. The car got debuted internationally just on Thursday. The new nose, the new rear bumper, a new livery, Rain-X, Ryan Tuerck, also a new baby. Roman Tuerck is now in the world thanks to him and Shannon and their love for each other. They got a new Tuerck in the world, and like you said, I don't know if that's the best thing possible. And there is our K&N air filters. K&N, the official air filter of Formula Drift. Tuerck, Denofa, Field, Odie, and Rome. And guess what? There are points at stake for qualifying.
Yeah.
Contrary to 2021.
That's huge this year.
That is huge. And I think that's really going to equate to what we saw last year. It came down to Irwindale. It came down to singular points of who landed where. This is the bracket. What are some of the battles you're looking forward to?
You know what I just found out walking up here?
What's that?
Darren Kelly is bowing out of competition today. I actually have to let people know that because I forgot to tell our friend up here. But so Chelsea Nofa is going to get a bye run.
Oh, look at that.
Right? So that's a huge implication, getting him directly into 16. But it's anybody's game. Watching qualifying yesterday, the drivers were having trouble filling the zones. And they explained in the briefing after that it's because the grip level changed so much on the track. Today's cloudy. Maybe the consistency will be here on the track surface. The sun won't come out. We don't know yet. We'll see how the weather plays out. It's such a huge difference here when there's grip and when there isn't. With these walls, it's very scary.
Slip and grip. You want that side bite. You want to, be able to break that car loose in order to get the rear end of that vehicle close to the outside zones. You're dealing with 3 outside zones, a touch and go, and an inside clip. And we'll get to that in just a little bit. But drivers really to watch here this weekend, Frederick Osbo. He's your defending champion. He's looking smooth. He was the first qualifying run here yesterday, and I think he got the ideal conditions, right? Because he was the closest to practice, run and gun, goes out there. Frederick Osbo is one to watch. He is your defending champion. So, you got to think he's got a lot of confidence coming here into Long Beach.
Yeah, he's a multi-year champion. He's one that we can never discount. He's so consistent, and he's able to put his car exactly where it needs to be repeatedly on the course from round to round, and that's something that you need to have. And he's got an amazing team backing him up that are ready to fix the car if anything happens, which is also vital with the attrition that we have sometimes with the cars. So I think that he's going to be a contender always, everywhere. Never discount him at all.
Yeah, you look at the Papadakis racing team that operates him. They operate Ryan Tuerck, as well as they work on Jonathan Castro's vehicle. But you have to think they have 5 championships between the Papadakis racing camp. Or no, 4, excuse me. Because you got 2 Osbo, you got 2 Tanner Faust. So they have a storied. So look at those names there. These are iconic names. All the way back to 04 was actually Sam Hubinette, Reese Mill in 05. But look at those names. Vaughn Gittin Jr. He's in the building. He's going to be doing an autograph session. He can't quit it just yet. The bets, bets are on if he's going to enter this year, or if he's going to wait 2 years. We'll see. But talking about champions, Vaughn Gittin Jr., Dai Yoshihara, these champions hanging it up. Dai Yoshihara, he's actually spotting for Masuyama here today. He was just going to show up. Masuyama says, "Hey, you do anything?
You're here. You speak Japanese. Help me out."
Let's do this. Vaughn Gittin Jr. notably. You look at Vaughn as, when he was a day oneer since 2004. This is the first ever Formula Drift event he's never competed at. What a crazy experience. But smart for him, taps Adam LZ, who has a massive following, creates amazing content. He's competing in a Ford, but he's still allowed to do really cool content. His garage is that of Storybook. You want all those vehicles that he has.
Absolutely.
But Adam LZ, a great contribution to the RTR team.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a great asset. He's showing that he's capable of driving that car at a high level. This isn't an easy track for anybody, but it's when your first event in a new car, it's especially difficult. They lost a motor yesterday, got a new one in for today. He just did a few runs of practice, looked really comfortable as well, but it's going to come down to consistency. Yep. Who's going to have it from 32 all the way to the finals?
Yeah. Let's take a look at his qualifying run yesterday. Adam LZ, I know there's a lot of fans. I love the livery. He wanted to keep the fade, and he did just that. AutoZone, RTR Spec 5D, LZ. He's been really busy in the offseason. He's been behind the wheel of a few Mustangs here. He qualified 11th overall. He's been tapping that wall consistently.
Yep.
Now, guess what? Chelsea Nova, we knew his bumper budget was big. LZ, he's just going to double down on that. They're going to rip through bumpers like they do toilet paper, man. But I think LZ is, he's proven himself.
Yeah, he definitely has. And you can see that he's confident enough to get the car all the way wide there at outside zone 1. He just needs to tie the rest of the course together and really fill all those zones. And we're seeing practice run after practice run here right now. Like I said, because it's cloudy, people are, I think, more comfortable with the consistency of the track.
Yeah.
And that's going to play into competition. So it's a big change from yesterday to today.
It's always really interesting, when that goes down. But again, We're getting a few tires burned here, so Ryan Lontaine and myself, we're going to be giving you some action and giving you kind of your tour guides. But we have another member of our team. She's back. We love her. You know her. Lorette Nickel is down with President of Formula Drift, Ryan Sage. Lorette?
Oh, Jared, love you guys too. So excited to be back. 2022. Ryan Sage says hello, but he's not in the booth. It doesn't mean that he's not running around doing so many different jobs. Ryan Sage, year 19, how do you even put this into words?
It is really hard to put in perspective. I mean, especially here at Long Beach, what we're going to be seeing here this weekend is the largest event that Formula Drift has ever done. And I think that says a lot about what happened coming out of COVID, going into 21 with so much momentum and seeing the fans come back out and come to these public events. And it also feels like a little bit of something new going on. We had Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Dye step away from the sport last year. Some new drivers coming over to take up that mantle, try to maybe get their first championship. Great qualifying yesterday from Ryan Tuerck and the whole field, and just really happy to be out here.
Yeah, us too. And there's so much great energy here. It is unlike any other event that we have on the drift schedule. And here at Long Beach, anything that has surprised you?
Well, I mean, I think if you're a drifter at heart, it's really hard not to be tempted by what we see here is basically street drifting, right? So but we're in a controlled situation here, and there's so much gratitude that goes out to the city of Long Beach and Public Works and all the people that help put this together, because we get to see drifting out on the street. And for me, that has always been something that I'm really excited about to kick off the season here at Long Beach. And it's beautiful weather, beautiful environment. It really is a one-of-one event.
Now, let's talk about the drivers. So we have Ryan Tuerck that qualified first. We have a huge international field. And how about the drivers that stepped up from Pro Spec?
Yeah, the makeup of the field is certainly different this year. 4 drivers stepping up to Pro Spec. We've got 3 international petitions that came in. And then with Vaughn and Daijiro Yoshihara stepping back from the sport, the composition is certainly different. I think the vibe that we see here today is probably going to set the tone for the remainder of the season. And as we know, we tend to see a lot of different winners over the course of the season. But last year, 2 guys won 6 of the 8 events, right? That was Chelsea Denofa and Odi Bakchis. So is that going to be the same storyline where you have somebody like Frederick Osbo that was consistent but didn't really get as many wins? He got the championship. There's always a story to be told. It's a long season. Not until October are we going to be ending, and just really happy to kick it off here today.
Yeah, love it, love it. So glad that you're here. And Jared and Ryan Lontaine, love hearing you guys in the booth. Ryan, we adore you. Guys, season 19, can you believe it?
No, I obviously can't, and the crow's feet around my eyes and my gray hair and my beard and on my head, it definitely is proof positive that we've been here that long. But just the history, look at this, streaming in. The line is going to the street. My family's waiting in that line right now.
You couldn't go sneak him in, Jared?
No, I'm up here. My son's texting me, give me Andy's number. I need to sneak people in. Lovingly, the crowd is welcome. I mean, last year, we shifted to late in the year because the Grand Prix had to push from our traditional April, Toyota Grand Prix, the Grand Prix of Long Beach Acura. I apologize, there were so many years there, but the Grand Prix of Long Beach, is now next weekend. We'll be out there, you and I, Brian
we're
Egger.
Be right here.
Is Chris Yule going to join us next weekend? I believe so, Friday and Saturday. But regardless, excited to see the fans' faces, super excited. But let's take a look at that Tuerck Drift track preview. If you haven't downloaded already, Tuerck Drift, my son was playing it last night at dinner. I said, Parker, put down your phone. He's like, nah. Here we go. Walk us through what we got. Matt Field in digital form.
Nice big initiation right there. You want to get wide out to outside zone 1. That is an outside zone now, not a touch and go anymore. Outside zone 2, under the bridge. Get nice and close to that wall. Draw a nice smooth arc all the way around to outside zone 3. That's a tricky spot to get all the way out to the wall there. It's very, very dangerous. Transition the car, nice and close to touch and go right there. Inside clip number 1, you want to get the bumper as close as you can to the clip without hitting it. Don't drop a tire on that white line that we painted around there, and then finish all the way driver's left at the finish line.
And then finish by playing Tuerck Drift. Now here are our decel areas, and primarily you talked about it there very quickly through Tuerck Drift. 3 outside zones, 1 inside clip. It's the BC Racing Go for Gold touch and go area. Also, that infamous inside clip, like you said, it's denoted by that white chalk line and that cone. treat that like a wall. An unforgiving wall. If you go on the inside, you're going to be deducted points. If that was a wall, it'd take off your nose. But walk us through the decel areas.
The decel areas are where we expect a car in the lead position to potentially slow down. And definitely on this track, you need to slow down for both of these. So the first one is at the initiation area. That is an area where we're definitely going to have some handbrake pulls. You see the 3 red and yellow markers on the fence line right there on the video. That is the initiation area. The third one, the closest one to the camera, would be considered the 1 cone. That's where the drivers have to be sideways by, then back on throttle as quickly as possible after that. And you don't want to have any other slowdowns on the track. Under the bridge, outside zone 3, that should be on throttle, committed, and then slow down again to get yourself around the hairpin. But other than that, throttle, throttle, throttle.
Point of no return, as you said, the 3, 2, 1, boom, you should be initiating by then. And we are about to enter into the Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. Rockstar, the brand new official energy drink of Formula Drift. Obviously, as you've seen, they support Frederick Osbo, defending champion, our #1 qualifier, Ryan Tuerck, so it's great to see them out here. Here are our Rockstar Energy Drink, keys to success. How would you open that success with that key there, Ryan?
The chase driver should understand who they're going up against. So their spotter should have been watching the other drivers, and they should know what that lead driver is going to do. The lead driver has the right of way in initiation. The chase driver needs to give them space. And then they need to position themselves properly behind that lead car. We don't want the chase car to be matching nose for nose. We want them to be matching the backs of the car. They want to kind of blend the chase car's smoke line in with the lead car's smoke line is a great way to put it. So if the lead car has their rear bumper on the wall, the chase driver should be doing the same. Anything less than that is cheating.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying that they're actually cheating, but the line is being compromised, let's say. Don't get lost in the smoke on that crossover under the bridge. It's an easy place to get lost in the smoke, but you want to position yourself so that once you transition, you're in the right spot. You want to be close to that lead car from start to finish. High mimic, which means you're doing what they're doing when they do it. Under this bridge right here, it looks incredible when the chase car transitions at the same time. It looks phenomenal. So we're looking for a lot of that.
And inside clip 1, that's going to be a real point of contention, and I like that right there. Don't take that the lead driver's inside clip 1 line.
Yep.
If you go there and you block, you're going to be faulted.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's I'm telling you, stay focused. Outside zones are awesome. When we come back, we will be seeing our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32 AutoZone Streets of Long Beach, presented by Type S. Ryan Lontaine, Lorette Nickel, I'm Jared Dienda. We're going to send it when we come back. Here are the Streets of Long Beach.
Throttle! Official sponsor of Formula Drift. Join the social app for car enthusiasts. Show off your rides. Connect with Formula Drift drivers and fans. Find your crew. Locate events. Watch exclusive Formula Drift clips powered by Throttle. Join the social app that brings together car lovers from across the globe. Go full throttle and download the app now.
You ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind. 'Cause I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on the way. Yeah. I'm on the way. On the way. Yeah. On the way. I'm on the way.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
Welcome back to the streets of Long Beach. Thank you to the Cal Club. They're always out here at the streets of Long Beach. They're out here sweeping the track, making sure everything's safe, and here's how the bracket lays out. First and foremost, our number one qualifier, Ryan Tuerck, new dad, and now our number one qualifier. Going against Jeff Jones. Had a bit of bad luck, talked with his wife, saw his mom earlier, having some issues. It seemed like his car, it bit at the wrong time and threw him into the wall here and there, and he did even crash earlier today. But guess what? Jeff Jones has so much momentum. I love the way he's driving. But like you said, Darren Kelly, a lot of excitement around his car. That Aston Martin supercharged V12. Yep. I mean, an amazing car, but unfortunately, with the debut of a new car, you know that you got to work out the kinks, and this is not a forgiving track. I told him and his Cole and his spotter, Cole Armstrong, love the Kiwis, love the Fanu over there, but I said, just make it past Long Beach. We'll see you in Atlanta. Let the car survive. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, he said that the front subframe had a little bit of twisting issue and the steering was binding up on him. And this is not a track where you need your steering to bind up. There are concrete walls all around. Like you said yesterday, it's unforgiving. Yeah. There's nowhere to make a mistake here when you're getting that close to these walls. And we want to make sure that that car makes it, like you said, through the rest of the season. Yeah, I mean, it all starts here and it ends in Irwindale. But as we said, all right, so a guy that didn't make a lot of mistakes. He didn't qualify as high, but guess what? He was kind of the maiden voyage for this season. Frederick Osbo, your defending champion, the trophy strapped on the back. He's down there with Lorette Nickel. Lorette?
Well, thank you so much, Jared. Frederick Osbo down here in the pits, and we were just talking about the energy. What's going on here at Long Beach? So much fun for round number one. And Frederick, you told me that you're trying to find the limits. What does that mean?
It means to try and find the limits of the track, first and foremost, because this is a gnarly track. And for us to start here, it's kind of madness. And, we've done well here in the past, but we've also done way worse here in the past. So right now I'm just trying to get in the groove, get back to the rhythm of last year, and trying to figure out how to do this stuff.
Right, and so right here you're finding the limits. Yeah, real nice.
Sides, actually, both sides. So we were on track yesterday in practice and on the right path to do well. Had a little bit of a fluke in qualifying, qualified 7th, still okay. And now trying to find, the track's ever changing. The grip levels are changing, and I'm just trying to equalize everything.
What was that fluke in qualifying? What happened?
Ended up a little shallow on the first corner, wasn't on that wall. The rest was okay, but it takes a split-second mistake, and that's all she wrote. And obviously Ryan here that you saw take off did a stellar job. P1 in qualifying yesterday is on rails, so we have our target set.
Frederick, thank you so much. Guys, back to you.
Thank you so much, Lorette. And here's the competition points breakdown. Of course, 100 points. You run that perfect event, you get 100 points. Second, 88, 76, 64, and then 5th through 8th gets 48 points. 9th through 16th, 32. 17th and up, or down, regardless of the way you look at it, 16 points for the remaining drivers. And now, of course, we could add potential qualifying points depending on where you finished yesterday. So that can really make a big difference at the end of the season. Like you've already touched on that. Yeah, and keep in mind, we do have another Pro Spec season, 4 rounds within the 8. And, I always think that it's got to be tough for the Pro Spec guys. We designed it for events to minimize expenditures on their program. Sure. But with only 4 rounds, if you miss one, like I saw Blake Olson here yesterday, he was going to go pro, but we've whittled it down to so many spots just to make sure that, you got a shot. I mean, you got to love the growth of drifting, but also with that Pro-Am, Pro Spec, Pro. 4 rounds is really tough to make up a round if you have a bad round or you miss a round, but 8, I think it's a better opportunity if you do have a bad round. Yeah, you do have more of an opportunity to make it up. You're right. 4 rounds, you need to make sure you show up for those 4 rounds and do well. Yep. Air Force, always a great supporter. The United States Air Force. So here's your Air Force Aim High Trivia. What is the name of the U.S. Air Force's song? Do you know it? A, B, C, or D? Well, what you're going to do now, see if you know this. Come on. I mean, my grandpa served in the Air Force. Rest in peace, Lieutenant Colonel Ralph F. Kling. Always got to shout him out. But go to the description in the FormulaD.com/live. Click the link. Do you know what the name of that song is? Brought to you by the United States Air Force. always a supporter of Formula Drift. So thank you, Aim High Air Force Trivia. Thank you so much. As we are getting prepared, and we are going to be seeing vehicles here on the start line to officially have our first turn and burn round 1 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. This is the AutoZone Streets of Long Beach presented by Type S. Obviously, we're here during the day, Type S. The lights are going to come on most recently at Atlanta round 2. There are the stats. Age, pretty close. East Coast, West Coast. Toyota, Nissan. Horsepower, you got 4-cylinder, and then you have a V8 of Jeff Jones. What are your expectations here, Ryan? I mean, Tuerck, #1 qualifier, Jeff Jones. A little bit of bad luck, but the thing about Jeff, I'm just going to stop you right there. You never know what's going to happen with Jeff, right?
You never know. So I think the big thing is trying to qualify first, of course, but then that makes you compete at the very top of the ladder. You're the #1 battle to go out on track, and you also have to compete against the lowest qualifier in the qualifying session, which means that you've got the top points driver going against the bottom points driver. So there's a big spread in maybe fulfilling the zones and all of that. So of course the lead driver is the higher qualifier in the first run, but then you got to switch it up and you have to drive behind them. So it's like a blessing and a curse. You qualify first, but then you have to drive against the driver that had the most trouble, let's say, getting through the course. So it's more challenging for sure. If you look at the middle, 16th going against 17th, you're going to have more of a challenge there in terms of matching level of competence, let's say. But this is going to be a challenge, and like you said, with Jeff Jones, it can go either way.
Well, guess what? It did go the wrong way right now.
No.
Jeff Jones, competition timeout right now. Lorette's with him. What's up? All right, we're going to throw it down to Lorette here. And yeah, Jeff Jones called the competition timeout. So want to make sure that Lorette, when you got him, let us know. We will wrap out with you, Jeff Jones. I'm seeing a spotter up here. Lorette, down to you. What's up, Lorette?
Hey, guys. So Jeff Jones is sitting in his car, and you called a competition 5 minutes. What's going on?
Yeah, so, we've been battling this is a whole new build, totally new car, new engine package, everything going on. We're down a cylinder on that last practice run, and, maybe it's a spark plug. Hopefully something simple, and we'll figure that out. Just want to give it, a full pull. We'll be able to run either way, just it might not be on all hidden, cylinders. We'll see.
Well, I can't imagine that inspires a lot of confidence on this track.
We had some luck last year and a lot of bad luck this year. So either way, we're having fun. We're out here racing in Long Beach. Any day racing is a good day. So me and the crew are having fun. Happy to be here.
All right, Jeff Jones, thank you so much. Guys, back to you.
You got to love that. Still got a smile on his face. So that was our NGK competition timeout, spark plugs timeout, and they sure do. Timely spark plug replacement not only prevents fouling, provides the best engine performance, and ensures less repair time. Save some money. NGK, the ignition specialist. So we'll advance on to our next battle. Jeff Jones hopefully continues to have a smile on his face. We'll see if he runs 100%, aka 8 cylinders, 7, 6, 5, we'll see. But Jeff Jones still always has a great attitude in that brand new vehicle, the Evil Auto Works Prisma Labs Nissan 370Z. So the Goosh, Ken Gooshie, and ironically enough, Ken Gooshie has been drifting since 04, 16 years old. Brandon Sorensen, 17 years old. That's awesome. So this is great, kind of the new guard, the young guard, the old guard.
Passing
this
the
is
torch.
Great. Yeah, passing the torch. Brandon Sorensen had a little bit of bad luck. He kind of bent up his car yesterday. Gooshie had a lot of bad luck last year, but guess what? They're back. New season.
Yep.
Wash, rinse, repeat. Let's send it. Here we go. Now we're going for head-to-head, our first battle. Ken Gooshie in that Toyota GR Supra, Brandon Sorensen, V8-powered BMW, Ryan Lontaine, Jared Deanda here in the booth. Ken Gooshie initiates past that point of no return, coming into view, getting all the way to that outside zone, now under the bridge, outside zone 2, now transitioning that final outside zone. Ooh, Gooshie goes hard at the wall, affect the attitude of the car. That might have thrown Brandon off there. Quickly go down to that touch and go in that final inside clip. Brandon seemed really timid. And I want to back it up because on that initiation, you saw Brandon take a way shallower line.
You're right.
Ryan, again, I really appreciate you kind of joining me in the booth, and we're just going straight to the judge's mouth. So let's get on with our instant replay and see what's going on. What are your thoughts, knee jerk?
Well, looking at what Brandon did, just like you said at initiation, it looked like there was a hesitation there. He was not quite initiating. Look, right there, he backs off, kind of a lack of angle. The proximity isn't there, but Gooshie gets way out wide. Brandon doesn't get out wide, but what is the big story here is going to be Gooshie tapping the wall and straightening up, and that's going to be an incomplete from Gooshie. Once the lead car initiates, the run is over. So that spin from Brandon in the chase doesn't matter because Gooshie already incompleted. The run is over.
Watch his front wheels.
Yeah, right here, he goes completely straight, drives straight, quite a distance there. Brandon's trying to avoid, got on the brakes, spun the car. So the spin doesn't matter. Gucci will be at fault here for that spin.
Yeah, and early on, like you said, it seemed like he had a lack of, there's the truth serum. We always call it that because you get that overhead shot, that's going to show you the attitude of the car, the smoke line, their line. Gucci hit that final outside zone, straightened him up, throws Brandon off. And Brandon, I mean, admittedly didn't have the best chase up until that point, but with Gucci making that just put the nail in the coffin for Gucci, unfortunately.
Well, what a chase driver needs to do is never give up. He wasn't on Gucci right away, but he got back on it, tried to get that proximity back, and just as he earned that proximity back, that's when Gucci made his mistake. So you have to give Brandon a little bit of credit there for not giving up, fighting, getting close, but in that sense, Gucci kind of, with that spin, ended the run right there. So.
Well, guess what? Don't count him out just yet. Brandon, he's got the clean air. He'll be out front.
That's it.
Remember, when those red lights extinguished, it's go time. Here we go. Send in Brandon Sorensen, Ken Gucci. Brandon Sorensen, that Air Force BMW from Las Vegas, Nevada, 17 years young, initiates nice aggressive initiation, so maybe a little more confidence here. But Gucci needs to apply the pressure. He's going to need Brandon Sorensen to make a mistake. Brandon, not the prettiest right now, not getting out there, but look at that. So again, Brandon taking the shallower line, but you have to think that big mistake by Gucci, he needs Brandon to mess up, and that's not going to happen here today. Brandon Sorensen will get the victory unofficially. We'll look at it again. The judge will assess, including you, Ryan Lontaine, Chris Yule, and Brian Egger. Our three judges back at it again. So let's look at it. But unfortunately, Brandon didn't make a mistake like Gucci
Exactly.
did.
An incomplete is, the only way an incomplete can be, let's say, matched or overcome is with another incomplete from the other driver. So the fact that Gucci had that incomplete on his lead, and in this case, Brandon put together a complete run. He didn't fill the zones as well as he should have, but he maintained drift. He was on throttle, didn't go off course, didn't hit the wall anywhere, and completed the run. So in that case, we've got a pretty clear-cut win for Brandon. Here you can see Gucci was pushing really hard on the latter half of this run. He had a little bobble there on the rumble strip after initiation, but then got close. You can see he's running almost the exact same line as Brandon here, but as he transitions, he gets really, really tight, kind of gets his nose in a little bit ahead of Brandon's, hits the clip, but really doesn't matter at this point.
Slide him left for Gucci or right. Look at that. Boom. Brandon Sorensen gets the win. It was unmistakable, so appreciate that. Just slide him on over there. It's unanimous. Brandon Sorensen gets the win. Ken Gucci, we'll see you in Atlanta. Again, Ken Gucci, a veteran since day one. Just a handful now with Vaughn Gittin Jr. saying, again, not goodbye, saying see you later. Dai Oshihara, who again is Masuyama's spotter here this weekend, he's saying, you know what, guess what? I'm gonna, oh, look at this, stoked. We got Jeff Jones on the line. How many cylinders he has? TBD.
That's another question, right? How does it sound? Kind of hard to tell.
All right, Jeff Jones in that pedal commander burnout box. Ryan Tuerck on the line. And there are the stats once again. Jeff, we'll see if he's got that all 800 or what he's got under the hood of his Nissan 370Z. A new build for him. The vehicle might look similar, but it is a brand new vehicle that he built in the off season, so it's great to get that fresh chassis. Similar to that of Jonathan Castro, another Toyota GR family member. But Jeff, like I said, just had so much fun last year. You know, just piqued a lot of interest and raised a lot of eyebrows the way he drove last year. Do you think?
Yeah, he was aggressive, and he had some moments of brilliance. And he said it himself. He said, I had a lot of great luck last year and had a great time.
Also a lot of bad luck.
But
this year.
This year.
Yeah.
Transitioning into 22, it's a whole new year for him, unfortunately. And that's what's going to happen sometimes when you build a new car. You're going to have some teething issues. You're going to have to work through, and unfortunately, you have to do it here between the walls of Long Beach.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, we're talking about Jeff Jones and his kind of bad luck. Ryan Tuerck, that's a new engine. They swapped that thing this morning.
They did not.
Yes, they did. That's a new engine, FYI. Right. The Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla on Nitto tires. Ryan Tuerck, our #1 qualifier. He's got the clean air out front and no Rain-X needed. As now goes in that first outside zone. That small little back bumper getting close. Not as close as we saw in qualifying or in practice, but guess what? Oh, Jeff Jones. You see that problem in the chase position now. Out to that BC Racing Go for Gold. Touch and go. Nice job around the inside clip. Guess what? Jeff did have a small mistake exiting that outside zone 3, but Ryan Tuerck put it together out front. Again, maybe kind of tempering the flame a little bit, rising to the occasion, but let's take a look at it again. And what were your thoughts, Ryan?
Yeah, you can tell Jeff Jones is having some issues in the chase. He's pushing as hard as he possibly can. You can hear that the car is struggling a little bit, so maybe he is down that one cylinder potentially. He tried, though. He didn't give up. He was pushing as hard as he could, but like you said, he did make a slight mistake there. So initiation, Ryan Tuerck there with some slight handbrake pulls, got on throttle where he was supposed to, got out wide to outside zone 1, nice transition to 2, and you can see Jeff those bobbles in the chase position. He's really pushing right there.
Yeah,
Car straightens up, and that's where you really heard the engine struggling right in that area. But Ryan Tuerck, really clean run up front. Not a 100-point run, but definitely close to what he did on qualifying day.
And this goes back to your point about #1 qualifier going against number 32 qualifier.
Yeah.
Also, his spotter, Steph Papadakis, he's in his ear. He's saying, hey, or is Biddy, I think Biddy's is in his ear. Yeah, Biddy's Hartsock Motorsports. He's in his ear, and he's saying basically like, hey, know that he might be down on power.
Yeah.
This is where it gets precarious.
This is the tricky part right now for Ryan. So he's been, I'm sure he's got his spotter in his ear right now, giving him some strategy, what
Insight.
he needs to do, insight into how it looked, how Jeff looked in the chase position. And knowing that that car sounds potentially hurt, Ryan's maybe going to give a little bit of space there, but he can't leave too much space either. That's where it gets tricky.
Here we go. Let's swap the order of operation. Jeff Jones now our lead driver, the 818. So he is sponsored by Evil Auto Works. Let's see if he turns that, flips it around, and calls it some love. See if he gets some love here. The Evil Auto Works Nissan 370Z. Jeff Jones out front. Little trickle here out of the start. Ryan Tuerck drops into formation. The pass the point, no return. Was that a late initiation? I'm not sure. We'll have to take a look at that again. So fails to get all the way to outside zone, like I said. Sounded healthier there, so maybe it's firing back up. But Ryan Tuerck doing everything he needs to do. This is, right there. I mean, Jeff looked healthier out front, but Ryan Tuerck, no mistakes in that chase position. That Rain X Toyota GR Corolla on Nitto tires stands and delivers in that chase position.
Anytime that a car is going to have an engine that isn't running right, it's always going to be harder in the chase because you have to adjust to the lead. And if you let the revs drop, sometimes it's hard to get them back up, whatever might be the issue. But in the lead, you can see that Jeff is on throttle, the tires are spinning, and it's working for him in the lead. He had a couple of small handbrake pulls there to keep the car in drift and maybe just push the line out a bit, but overall did a good job in the lead. It was a clean run. Tuerck put on enough pressure that he wasn't sandbagging, he wasn't holding back. He was definitely putting on the pressure. He was right there in his door. So Ryan Tuerck, I think, is going to get the easy win here.
All right, we got Chris Yule, Ryan Lontaine, and Brian Egger. Slide him left for Tuerck, right for Jeff Jones. Boom, it's unanimous. Ryan Tuerck gets the win. Ryan Tuerck unanimously gets the win. Congratulations, Ryan Tuerck. Unfortunately, Jeff Jones. Keep that smile on your face, buddy. Your mom, your wife, they're all here. You got your team supporting you. We'll see you in Atlanta, and I know you're going to rise to the occasion in the ATL. Dirty South. We're 2 battles in our 16 battles of our 32. And what's great, I mean, we didn't know we were going to have a bye run up until this morning. You informed us of that. So unfortunately, Darren Kelly is parking it. You said he had some twists in that Kiwi's vehicle, that V12 supercharged Aston Martin. Very cool car. Excited to see. They supposedly have another engine being built.
They do. It's a 6.8 liter. Going to make close to 1,000 horsepower, he said. So that'll be the one that we'll look out for. I don't know when it's going to go in the car, but.
Sure, bro. Sure, bro. All right, Chris Forsberg, Yves Meyer. Forsberg, new car for him. Yves Meyer, new car for him. Chris Forsberg, brand new car. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's told me this is basically the first ever all-new Nissan Z outside of Nissan's ownership. Got the car? Let's cut it up. So he's running the VR horsepower out of the GTR. So exciting for him, brand new car. Yves Meyer, brand new car for him. Car might look similar, different livery, but that vehicle is the vehicle that Jonathan Castro has campaigned for the past few years. So it's great to see the Swiss driver of Yves Meyer back, different car. He campaigned that Drift Force BMW. The vehicle is being worked on and tuned by the Drift Cave, which is Matt Field and his operation. So that his cavemen are working on the vehicle, banging away on the Swiss Toyota GR 86. So anyways, regardless.
A lot going on there.
Brand new car for Yves Meyer. Chris Forsberg will lead. Forsberg, he qualified 8th compared to Yves Meyer's 25th. So great to be back out here. So brand new car for that 3-time champion, Chris the Force Forsberg. An awesome Drink, all new Nissan Z on GT Radial tires. Let's see what you got here. Forsberg going against Yves Meyer in the chase position. Initiates now into that first outside zone. Slowly kind of works his way out there. Now snaps into that second outside zone. Yves Meyer tucking in the smoke. Oh man, look at the pressure that Yves Meyer's got. Nice that BC Racing go for gold. Yves Meyer looking very comfortable at 86. Ooh, he does impede on that inside clip, but man, Yves was right there.
He was.
And that, we talked about those Rockstar energy drink keys to success, and don't get lost in the smoke. Yves was kind of flirting with get blinded by the smoke, not the light.
He was putting on the pressure though, Jared. Let's see at the initiation. Got it nice and close right away. You can see Forsberg getting on throttle. Eve's a little bit on the inside line there. And then Forsberg goes wide on 2, which was nice. Could have been deeper on 3, but you can see Eve putting on the pressure. He is right there. Right here we have to look. Looks like 1 tire off at the inside clip. So that's not the worst thing that could happen. Eye in the sky here is going to give us a great view. So you can see a little bit of movement in Eve's car. He's not really on the same line there through outside zone 1, but he works the car back through 2 and 3, and look how close he got right there. That's some great proximity from Eve. And as he goes in here, he may have transitioned just a little too early. Didn't quite have the momentum to carry himself out around the inside clip.
It really seemed like Eve, obviously was not on line 1 and 2, but he kind of like, look, I'm still in this. I'm still in this fight. You saw him gain that proximity, got to the side of him, but was that enough? And again, going on the inside, small deduction there, just mentally as far as the over outcome. Both, you and I'm talking to you, Ryan Lontaine and Brian and Chris, digest those both runs, give the verdict here. But Eve, right out of the box, looks very comfortable in that 86. And it's a proven chassis.
Yeah, it is. And now Eve needs to be as good or better as Chris was in his lead. So he needs to fill the zones. He needs to get out wide, especially at 2 and 3. And Chris now needs to put on the pressure too in the chase. Everything's comparative, so we're looking at how Chris did in his lead, and now we're going to compare that to how Eve does in his, and then chase to chase comparing as well. So that means Chris has to put on the pressure in the chase position right now.
Here we go.
Cone down.
Looks like cone down. So for those that are new to the drifting world, we have that start chicane. And the start chicane was created just to make sure that there wasn't a drag race off the start. What that does is it pairs them up so nobody just rips away from the chase driver. So the chase driver can also, maybe elaborate on that, Ryan, please.
Yeah, this is so the lead driver is sort of choked up a little bit when he leaves. He can't go full throttle and leave the chase car in the dust. So they have to go through this tight chicane. They can't hit a cone. They can't jump the start light. They can't park on the start light either, which means that when the start light goes out, that Matt Sopa there, the starter, he will do a 2 count. And if the lead car hasn't left the line after the light has gone out after 2 seconds, he'll do a restart again. If you get 2 restarts, you're okay. On your 3rd restart, it's an incomplete. So that includes hitting a cone, stalling the car, jumping the light, or parking on the light. And those are all called restarts, strikes, and it's a 3-strike, you're out rule.
Yeah, 3
so
strikes.
He's got 1
Stick
right
ball
now.
Sports. Yeah, so
he has
hits another
strike.
cone too. Again, we have seen it 3 strikes and you're out, but so extinguish, 2 seconds, and that was a clean start. As long as he doesn't hit a cone, we're good to go. There it is. So here we go, that drift force. Gazoo Racing, Switzerland, Toyota GT86 comes now into that outside zone. Chris Forsberg, NOS entering an all-new Nissan Z on GT radial tires. Meyer, massive angle there. Huge angle from Even. And look at that. Forsberg with a little shallower line, takes that inside line, now gets all close and personal to him around that inside clip. Here we go, digesting those runs here, and this is, again, a really good start for Yves Meyer. Here's Chris Forsberg, who's been competing. He is kind of one of the last standing starfighters, a day oneer. Ken Gucci and him.
Yep. So looking at Forsberg here, playing it a little bit safe early on, but look at Eve going down that outside zone 2. Great transition, nice line. Chris falls off ever so slightly, misses outside zone 2, but then comes on and puts on the pressure at the end here. He gets nice and close and doesn't hit the inside clip, doesn't drop a tire. So if you look at the mistakes that were made by both drivers in the chase, Chris had a slight error there of line from around outside zone 3. Eve did not quite get out as wide there at 1. Did a good job on 2 though. Maybe about the same on 3. He was a little bit late on 3, but then Chris right there with them through to the end. So we're gonna have to look at the errors that were made in the. I'm pleasantly surprised by Eve, how comfortable he is. He didn't always look as comfortable in his old BMW last year, but it looks like he's right at home here in this GT86.
Yeah, and Eve and Josh Reynolds, they're the Drift Force team. You know, they've done a great job. They're both from Switzerland and just really dynamic drivers. Josh Reynolds' vehicle hopefully will be in Atlanta. He says it's going to be there. He's got a vehicle that he campaigns back home. So here we go. Slide him left for Forsberg, right for Yves Meyer. And it's unanimous. Chris Forsberg gets the win. If you can't elaborate on that, I saw you go and tap Forsberg. It's great to kind of be, again, right here versus looking down on you from my ivory tower. You're in the ivory tower now. What justified that in your eyes?
Well, I only saw one real error from Chris Forsberg, and that was on outside zone number 3, whereas when Eve was chasing, he made multiple mistakes, one of them being going off course where the inside clip is, dropping that tire and hitting the clip. That's always the big one. If you go off the actual track surface, and that's what we've denoted over there being the on and off track. So that's a big one. But overall, Chris just did a better job to beat the chase.
Here we go, moving on to our next battle. Michael Essa, Taylor Hull. Michael Essa, pretty similar setup to last year, he says, but he's always refining it. Michael, you know, builds some amazing road race cars. He's got FCP Euro. He's got access to a ton of parts, so always appreciate FCP Euro. And seeing Michael Essa, he's a former champ. He knows how to get it done, so it's great to see him back here. But Taylor Hull, brand new car. And my expectation for Taylor Hull is, guess what? He's doing it for Dale once again. He had his Cadillac ATS-V. He had the kind of the historical kind of throwback livery. Now he's got kind of a different era, and he's got a new car. I'm expecting Taylor Hull. Great things from him. Could it be here in Long Beach? Could it be in Atlanta? With the new car, you really got to work it out, and that's what we've always known. Again, you can only tell the future by looking at the past. The way Taylor Hull developed that ATS-V was very commendable, but with a vehicle that, you know, is different and unique, it comes with those growing pains. Sure. So will Taylor Hull deliver? Guess what? He's got to go through a former champ.
Exactly, that's the big thing. Michael Essa is very consistent and knows this track very well. Not that Taylor Hull doesn't, but he's in a new car, which is a little less predictable for him. So it's going to be a big challenge.
Michael Essa, FCP, Euro, Liquimale, BMW. Run those Bill Steins on the corners. Bruce Brigade member. Nice job by Essa initiating. Let's see if Taylor Hull, he tucks in. A little shallow off that outside zone 1, also outside zone 2. Michael Essa doesn't get all the way to outside zone 3, but with those mistakes early on by Taylor Hull, how is he going to fare? Makes it up there on the back end. So we'll back it up, but again, Essa did get to the outside zone 2, and here it is in that chase position. That chase driver just treading lightly, didn't get to the outside zone 2. We've seen that a few times already.
Yeah, Michael Essa's looking clean in the lead here, and Taylor Hull's looking pretty clean in the chase as well. A couple of little bobbles right there, but he's building the proximity. He's getting in close. Not quite as wide as Mike Essa on 2, but gets back online through outside zone 3. His proximity is what we call maybe like a mid-proximity, but he's running a clean run in the chase position. Didn't hit the cone there, coming around inside clip 1, and did a great job of mimicking more or less what Mike was doing. I'd like to see him a little bit closer, though. We'd like to see a little bit more proximity there and more mimic. So right there you can see is where Taylor Hull was offline a little bit compared to Mike Essa. So that outside zone 2 to 3 area is really the major error that Taylor Hull made in the chase. So now it's time to switch it up, of course. So Taylor Hull in his lead run now needs to be out as wide or wider than Mike Essa was in the lead, and Mike Essa needs to be closer than Hull was in the chase and mimic him more. So really get on the same line and match his transition style and also timing.
Here we go, let's alternate the order. Taylor Hull, he's out front. Michael Essa giving chase. You can see our next pair back there, Odi Bakchis, Nick Novak, that Coreworks BMW. Matt Sopa, our starter. Sopa on a Ropa, keeping it clean out there. Now going through that start chicane, here comes Taylor Hull. Is he going to restart that? No, he did not. So he barely nicked that cone. I don't know if he's going to restart the.
Stay in the box.
We got, staying in the box. Here we go. So just barely flirting with a restart. Oh, look at this. So not only changing positions, but changing positions in more ways than one, because Taylor Hull, look at Taylor stepping up, filling all the outside zone 3. Michael Essa taking that shallower line. And a wide swing by Taylor Hull. I'll tell you what, that was very unlike Michael Essa, but Taylor Hull, he's like, yo, I'm here. Like, yeah, it might be the maiden voyage for this vehicle, but this Comp Cam's Edelbrock GT Radial Corvette looks good.
Yeah, something happened here at initiation. So let's watch. Taylor Hull gets the car to angle, and then Michael Essa just drives through that whole area, that whole first corner. He was gripping essentially around that corner, so there was no drifting there whatsoever. I didn't see anything from Taylor Hull to cause that on Mike's behalf. So that looks like an error that Michael Essa caused all on his own in the chase position. We're gonna have to watch that again, maybe from the, I don't know if we have the drone view of that, that'd be awesome, but we're gonna have to get another replay just to make sure, but I think that looked just like an error on Mike Essa's part. Maybe it was a misshift, or potentially just had it in the wrong gear or something like that. So we have a side-by-side.
Yeah, the BC Racing Custom Coilovers go for gold side-by-side, and I really love this because it really shows kind of the difference.
So getting back on throttle, looks like Taylor Hull's on throttle there, no problem. Michael Essa wasn't that close to him at that point either. It's not like he got choked up or had that error caused on him. He had less angle through outside zone 3 as well, and you can see that Taylor Hull's on throttle. He missed inside clip 1, but overall a pretty clean lap from Taylor Hull in the lead position.
So you got a lot to digest here, Lantain. I'll let you elaborate with your fellow judges, or not elaborate, but kind of what did you see? Where did you see? Was it a misstep there by either Hull or Essa? But overall, an exciting run. As we are, this is our, I believe, this is our first battle that really kind of gets close, and it wasn't so definitive out of the gate. And this is where, so judges are saying, let's take another look. This is the second run. So this is Taylor out front, Essa in that chase position. Taylor, you see him, initiates at the proper time. Taylor gets out there. You see Essa kind of roll into that initiation on outside zone 1. Watch outside zone 2. Essa takes a shallower line, not as much angle as Hull. Now touch and go, clean. Taylor Hull does overshoot it. He's about a half a car length off that inside clip. And now they cross the finish line. That was a, and again, love that shot. That drone shot is so telling. Scores are in. Here we go. Did you put yours in? I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's already
Taylor Hull gets the win. Taylor Hull gets the win, taking out Michael Essa. So, wow, that was interesting. We'll come back to the Taylor Hull verdict, but Lorette Nickel is with the 3-time champ, Chris the Force Forsberg.
Well, he's also the one that's debuting the brand new Nissan Z. This girl is pretty, but it has been a crazy debut to get her here. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, real quick, we got the car 6 weeks ago yesterday, and we took the first 3 weeks to just tear it down, do all the fabrication to it. We painted it 3 weeks ago and then built it from the shell up to what it is now. It didn't touch the ground for the first time until like 6:15 p.m. on Wednesday. Came here to the track Thursday, did systems checks, went through the whole car with the team, tightened up any little leaks, checked all the sensors, the nitrous, and yesterday morning, first practice pass was our dyno pull, and thankfully we have an amazing team and an amazing tuner. Just did a quick pull, checked the log, everything went great. Second pass, we're just ripping.
Oh my gosh, okay, and I know that you are going straight for it. This is not a developmental year for you. You are going for the title. I hate talking about it, the first round here, but Chris, how comfortable are you in this car already?
I'd say we're very comfortable. There are similarities between this and the old chassis, so we're allowed to carry over a lot of notes and information, so that's why we're able to hit the ground running yesterday and qualified 8th with only 8 laps in the car ever. So feeling very confident with the car and putting it in all the right places. We just got through top 32, and we're just going to go through the car one more time, try and find a little more grip because it's pretty cool out, so the track's kind of slicking up, and yeah, I mean, we're feeling 100%.
Chris, thank you so much. Guys, back to you.
Thank you so much, Lorette. Thank you, Chris, and some great insight there. He's talking a million miles a minute because he knows, hey, let's get this thing back to the 5th. Yeah. All right, Nick Novak, Odi Bakchis. I got a text from Greg Bussell of CoroWorks. He says, man, every panel's bashed on this thing. We used about 5 bags of zip ties, thrashing that thing together. The roof is straight. All the other fenders of that CoroWorks brand new vehicle, he got into a couple tussles with the wall. And I fought the wall, and the wall won. That's how it goes down here at Long Beach. Odi Bakchis, he got into a fight on Wednesday. He was at media day, and you were telling me, because I wasn't out here, he had to take that thing back and get a nose job on that thing. Yep. Here we go. Odi Bakchis, Nick Novak, going down. That Falcon Tire Field Suspension S15 initiates a big angle there, but guess what? Nick Novak, regardless of being battered and bruised, still comes back for it. He is a rookie. Look at Odi Bakchis flexing on him, talking about that back bumper, that back fender at minimum. And you know what? I always say this, get the crashing out of the way. If it's gonna be inevitable, sometimes it's like, okay, guess what? YOLO, got nothing left to lose, let's go for it. And it seems to work out and pay off for Nick Novak.
Yeah, get it out of your system early so that when competition comes, you can actually put it together. But that was a great run from both drivers. I think Odi could have done a little bit better on outside zone 1, but great initiation here, gets on throttle at the right place, not holding anybody up there. Could have been wider on 1. Novak is right there. Look at the mimic transitioning at the same time as Odi. Odi got into outside zone 3 late, but managed to touch the wall. Didn't affect his line, didn't affect his angle, didn't affect the attitude of the car at all, but it did get him into that zone late. So let's watch it from the sky. Always gives us a lot more info that we can get from the ground. So watch Odi's line here. The zone got out there really, really, really late. But he was still wide. It wasn't that he wasn't all the way, just wasn't all the way out to the wall. So, but great job from both drivers there. Nick did not give Odi a lot of room, put a lot of some pressure.
Would you say he no back down?
He no back down.
Yeah, no back down. He didn't do that. Yeah, look at this photograph. Nickel, no back.
Oh.
Yep. Yep. Again, another Canadian treasure. right?
Another Canadian treasure?
Yeah, another one. Like,
what's the first Canadian treasure?
I don't know.
Me,
Think
maybe?
of one.
Am I a Canadian treasure?
You are a Canadian treasure. That's what I was getting at.
Oh, okay.
You're the most humble guy you know. So, all right, Nick Novak will now be leading that CoroWorks BMW GT Radial, and Odie Bakchis will be giving chase. Nick Novak in the Rockstar Energy Drink, top 32 Rockstar Energy Drink, the official energy drink of Formula Drift. Got a clean start. Nick Novak, battered, bruised, but not down and out. Now coming into that first outside zone, Nick Novak gets about a half car length off. That can throw off Odie Bakchis. Now this is where it needs to apply the pressure. He has to adjust. Novak, look at that, he spins. Look at that maxed out angle from Novak going into that go for gold, outside touch and go. Pretty well executed by both the drivers. I'll tell you what, Odie did a really good job of compromising because he saw Novak didn't get out there and he had to shallow up, but he got right back to him on the outside zone too. That is very difficult to do, to massage your car in that chase position.
It's very surprising how similar those lead runs were from both drivers. It's almost like Nick Novak saw what Odie did in his lead. He's like, okay, I'm going to do that.
Yep.
He just watched. The distance there from outside zone 1 is pretty much the same. Same thing on 2. If you look at 3, Novak went late into outside zone 3, tapped the wall in almost the same spot. It looks like he was right at maximum angle there. Looked like he was maybe potentially holding back from a spin, maybe not. But let's watch it again from the ground level here. Nice transition. Odie's nice and close. Odie's got his car positioned very, very well. That's something that's really important too, is where is your car in respect to the lead? And you can see that Odie's pretty much in the right spot, but you can see there, Nick definitely over-rotated the car slightly there, probably had to catch it and then get back on throttle. So it was a slight error from Nick Novak.
Yeah, this is really another tight one. As you said, it's a good proximity position for Odie, but you were talking about it exceeding the lead car. Do you think Odie, did that, or was that's kind of flirting with it, but given the previous outside zones, that's the only thing he could kind of do.
Right, I think because of the fact that Nick went really wide on 3, late on 3, hit the wall there, and then went looked like over-angled after outside zone 3. Like these drivers were talking about yesterday in the briefing, the marbles, the grip level on just outside the line, if you're running a wider line than the average driver out there, you're going to be in some marbles, and the grip is not going to be there, and the car's going to want to over-rotate, and we've seen that happen often from 2 to 3 and after 3. So let's watch the side-by-side.
Yeah, you talked about it, almost identical lead runs, so I really think it's focusing on the chase run and what they're doing in the back end.
Yeah, so you can see the proximity to the wall there's identical, same thing there for the lead-to-lead. Watch Odie, though. He taps the wall and keeps going. Look at Novak right after tapping the wall. The car goes to high angle, slows down a little bit, and I think that's where Odie had to adjust, but did an amazing job. I think if you had a lesser driver behind Novak there, it would have been more obvious, the correction that had to be made. But Odie is so skillful, he made it look easy. He made it look like he had to do nothing back there, but he actually probably put together a great chase despite what happened in the lead. So you can see here, the 3 judges, 3 of us went with Odie, and I think it's based on what happened to Nick in his lead, tapping the wall there after outside zone 3 and kind of over-rotating the car slightly, slowing down a little bit, but Odie adjusted so well that you couldn't even really tell.
Well, good job by Odie Bakchis. Nick Novak, we'll see you in Atlanta. Lorette Nichols down with Taylor full pole.
Well, this man made the switch from the Cadillac to the Corvette, taking that win in top 32. You must be so relieved at this point.
Yeah, we are. I mean, it's really exciting to bring out a new car to begin with. I mean, I love the Cadillac. It's still near and dear to my heart, but, you know, to have a car that's already got aftermarket support and great companies like YS5 and Yellow Speed that make stuff for this car already, and I don't have to make it all at home, it's really nice. But, yeah, we're super excited to get the win here. I wish I could have just gone out and dominated to get that win. I don't love to get one off of somebody making a mistake, but I've lost plenty that way, so I'll take one this time.
So looking at that, how do you make sure that you have a really clean run in top 16?
We're just still going to keep dialing in the suspension, and me, it's more me dialing myself in. This thing is so different. My seating position's different. I have like 30 total laps in this car, right? So I'm working on it, and I'm learning every time, and I'm sure I've goofed some people up in practice, just me trying to go through this learning curve. But appreciate all y'all's patience, and we're going to keep trying to push through and get another win.
Taylor, thank you so much. Congrats, guys. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Taylor Hull, and I like that. Well, I always love getting that insight, you know, when they take the helmet off and kind of really take a moment for themselves and elaborate on their success, failures, and kind of honesty, transparency. I like that.
Yeah, and this is a big win for him in the new car, round 1, so it's huge, huge.
Dean Kearney, similar setup, twin turbo, SRT10, Dodge Viper, new sponsor as Dean Carnage Kearney. Love to see where he's at. The Hyper NFT, daily driven exotics, Dodge Viper, going against Dan Burkett. Dan Burkett, again, the Rad Industries Gear Wrench GT Radial Mark IV Toyota Supra, always has some good looking cars. Dan Burkett, looks like he qualified 13th. Dean Kearney qualifying 20th. New Viper looks really good, and again, that Hyper NFT, it's all about hypercars, supercars, NFT in the meta, just going digital. I love it. It's cool. Again, just a new breed of technology, and some people don't understand it, but guess what? You know what you understand? Somebody's going to win. You got two amazing cars, high horsepower. Dan Burkett initiates. The GT radials go round. Nice job by Dan Burkett. Big angle. Ooh, looks like he kind of had a hiccup there. Threw a lot of angle out there. Look at that, massive. Kind of almost rotate. That's a hard act to follow.
Yes, it is. He threw a lot of angle at outside zone 1.
And that's going to just absolutely throw off Dean Kearney.
For sure.
Again, you know, Dan Burkett progressed with this Mark IV Supra, and just kind of a new look, a new feel, always working on the Rad Industries. What's your assessment?
Well, let's look at this initiation first, Jared. See the cars getting the angle. Dean Kearney's in decent proximity right here, but look at the way that Rad Dan gets over-angled there, looked like, and slowed down considerably. Dean Kearney had nowhere to go in that situation, and that is an area of the track where momentum is so important. If you're in the chase position and the lead car slows down on you, as a chase car, you have nowhere to go. And that means that you're going to have to slow yourself down. The lead car is going to take off, and now you're kind of sitting there left hanging. And it looks like Dean Kearney was left hanging in that situation. So the proximity is enough here that it's close enough that you could say that the lead car affected what's going on with the chase. It almost looked like he was going to spin in that area right there. So watch the cars. He comes around, big angle, a couple of little bobbles right there, and tries to get on throttle and carry through, but he just kind of left Dean hanging in the chase position. So Dean then doesn't have the momentum to get himself wide around number 2 and 3, and of course, as you get to 3, you can see Dan has huge angle there as well, and Dean Kearney's just trying to play catch up at that point. So not ideal for Dean in the chase because of what happened in the lead. So personally, I would put it on the lead car, and I would say that the lead took away the opportunity for the chase there.
I would just metaphorically say it's kind of like driving to Long Beach with all the construction, bit of a roadblock. That's what kind of Dan threw up, kind of a bit of a roadblock. Says, not roads closed, dog. You're not going to come through here. So unfortunately, you know, with Rad Dan's massive angle, I think that really did disrupt. So adding to your point, your elaboration. So now let's see what we get. Run 2, the second half of this battle. Dean Carnage Kearney, that Hyper NFT Dodge Viper, now coming into view of the fans here in the building in that first outside zone. Nice snappy transition by both drivers. And I believe Dan definitely knows he's got to step up. Nice job by Dean Carnage Kearney. Look at Brad Dan now getting right tucked in. Looks like just barely nicking it. There wasn't a tire. And you talk about the driver's meeting. You can't hit that cone, but we're talking bumper. We're not talking tire. Don't put tread on it. Put a bumper on it. Put a bird on it. Portlandia.
So the other issue that we're going to run into here is Dean Kearney went a little long in outside zone 3 and dropped the tire on that white line on the outside there. We're considering that an off course. So it'll be one tire off. Won't be a big deal, but it's just something to add to the mix. Looking at what Dean did otherwise, though, great initiation. The transition between 1 and 2 was phenomenal. So right there, you see him drop that tire. Not that big of a deal, really, in the overall side of things, but you can see that he was fast. He was committed in the lead. Watch his initiation here. Gets the car quickly to angle, accurately, gets back on throttle. As if you watch here, outside zone 1 was off a little bit, but then that transition was phenomenal to outside zone 2. You can see that Dan is right behind him, but he misses 3 altogether. The only thing that's going to save Dean here is if the other judges think that what happened in the lead position on the first run, where Dan kind of over-rotated and slowed down, if they feel that that caused Carnage not to really have anywhere to go. So nice little wall tap there.
I'm going to point it out again. So watch where the black, there's the black and the gray. When it switches from black to gray, the asphalt to the concrete, you see 2 white stripes. That's what you talk about a tire off. You want to stay within those 2 white stripes that are obviously slowly disappearing because of time, but it's right prior to from the black to the gray, go from outside zone 3 into that touch and go and then bring into that final clip. That's what you talk about, a tire off. It's not obviously going off course, it's not inside clip, it's right before that touch and go. Slide him left for Burkett, right for Dean Kearney. We've seen unanimous decisions, and there it is again, Dean Carnage Kearney. So Ryan, It's unanimous. We slide him all the way to the right. What justified that for you? Was it just, unfortunately, Dan's, let's call it what I call the roadblock? Was that the deciding factor?
That was really the deciding factor. We put a lot of emphasis on what the lead driver is going to, how the lead driver is going to affect the chase, and the lead driver sets the pace on the entire run. If the lead driver is throwing up that roadblock, it's not intentional, it's complete error that he made there. He just threw the car in and it over-rotated. He got on throttle and got through the rest of the course because that's what he's trained to do.
Yep.
And as a driver, I just need to get through the course. Whatever mistake I made, so that's all he was doing. But unfortunately, the slowdown is what caused Dean to not have an opportunity to chase, and we put that error on
Burkett and Rad Dan.
Rad Dan.
So we'll see Rad Dan in that Mark IV Supra, the Rad Industries gear wrench. We'll see him in Atlanta. Dean Kearney, that Hyper NFT Dodge Viper. We got some Beamers up in the mix.
So Travis Reeder's the one that got into the tires here on his last run of practice with Chelsea DeNova.
Yeah.
So they both ended up, I think Reeder ended up backing into the tires to avoid Chelsea, but then Chelsea was still spinning and I think hit him as well. So I don't think there was a mechanical, any kind of suspension damage or anything. Maybe it was more cosmetic, but still kind of scary on your last run of practice nonetheless. I don't know if it shook him up a bit.
Yeah, well, and keep in mind, Reeder yesterday, he didn't show up on his first qualifying run, do or die for him on his second, got the car running, literally manpower. He had his family member push him out there. And ironically here, you get, 2 BMWs. And what's funny is, guess what? Rome Charpentier is leading. He qualified 5th. His mom, his aunt, his dad, they're all cheering him on. On the back end, on that wing, says, give moderns hell. Guess what? He's going against a modern BMW. Right. So Travis Reeder, he's going to be looking at that wing, hopefully, because that means he's going to have good proximity. But 2 very fierce drivers, up-and-coming drivers. Yes, they've been in Pro Spec, Pro, but guess what? 2 great personalities in the Formula Drift paddock and now on track. Rome Charpentier, Garagistic BMW, initiates in that first outside zone. Travis Reed, the Reeder Motorsports, Link ECU, BMW in the chase. Both of them tit for tat. Reeder a little bit shallower than Rome Charpentier. Oh, and look at Reeder, goes deep, and unfortunately, we saw him put too much angle, gets into that wall. Rome Charpentier showing you why he qualified 5th. We mentioned him on the pre-show, and he's showing you why he deserves to be there. His mom this morning says, red's not his color. Last year's car was red and black. Now, obviously, retina burning green and purple or pink kind of fade, but it seems to be working out regardless of the color, the performance of the car. He's right there.
That was yesterday. He impressed all of us with the run that he put together in qualifying, and he's really keeping that momentum going here in competition. Great initiation. Look at his angle, really stable all the way to outside zone 1, transition to 2, nice arc to 3, but right in the chase here, this is where Reeder kind of got into the marbles a bit. You can see him over-rotate a little bit, transition the car, but he'd already lost proximity at that point. But Charpentier in the lead is looking phenomenal. Great job. So here we go, turn 3. So this is where you see that Charpentier could have been a little bit closer to the wall at the beginning of the zone, and you can see that Reeder in the chase there maybe just got a little too close. Again, those marbles are tricky. If you get out wider than everybody else has been driving, it's gonna take the grip away from the rear of your car.
Again, ideal conditions here. A little, just a kind of a gray cloud cover, a little brisk. Some people in t-shirts, some people got some hoodies on, some sweatshirts. But right now, it just seems to be creating, as Ryan said early on, a consistent condition of the track. You get some sunny spots, some dark spots in the shade, and that's going to change the dynamics of your tire surface, or your tire and the surface kind of relationship there. Yep. And keep in mind that when they want to keep it on the black, but at the end they do get onto that gray concrete. That changes the scenario. And obviously we've had wet runs here before, which let's just not even say the R word right now, rain. But right now, Travis Reeder, we will say that R word as Reeder comes into that first outside zone. A lot of handbrake there from Reeder. As it looks like Rome Charpentier backs off quite a bit. Reeder, he said he had some ghosts yesterday, but guess what? He surprised himself. Reeder not into that outside zone 3, into that touch and go. They keep it right where they need to be, and both are very tight. So again, there's that bumper tap, just barely nicking that first and final inside clip, the peninsula on that waterfront.
That was another great battle. I think that Reeder did a great job in the lead. He got out to outside zone 1 really well, did well on 2, but you can see he had a handbrake pull between 2 and 3 because his car wasn't on the right line and he wasn't pushing all the way out to outside zone 3. And he did not fill 3, unfortunately. So let's watch on throttle. Oh, another handbrake pull there. Yeah, good eye, good catch. You can see there, on zone 2 did okay. Handbrake pull there, trying to get out wider. Didn't get out to 3, unfortunately. Transitions the car for the touch and go, and then you see Charpentier right there in the mix in the chase position. So definitely going to be looking at the errors that were made. We're going to do a little side-by-side, Jared, see how they look. I think that Rome had a cleaner lead. He did get out to outside zone 3 nicely, just tapped that wall when he was in his lead, although it was a little bit later in the zone. But Rome did not, Reeder didn't get all the way out to that zone. So that's, lead to lead comparison, that's a big, I guess, detriment to him.
And we always talk about the handbrake pull. What we're talking about is the judges, and I'll let you kind of analyze this and walk us through it here in a moment, but I really want to, because this is pretty close in regards to the outcome and which way it's going. They both had mistakes here and there, but lead versus lead, chase versus chase. When we talk about handbrake, you'll see the rear wheel actually stop. The judges don't want to see that, because when you pull that handbrake, what that's going to cause, knee-jerk reaction, or kind of every action has a reaction. The reaction when you pull that handbrake, that's going to cause the back end of the car to go backwards. So as you were talking about, Lantaine, is on that last outside zone, pulling the handbrake, that's going to cause it to massage to the back. So Rome Charpentier gets the win. The Garage stick BMW E36. Give moderns hell, and unfortunately, Reeder, you're the modern that he gave hell. So Rome Charpentier and Travis Reeder, I know he talked to Lorette Nickel. We're getting some communique from her, and she says that they were, quote-unquote, chasing ghosts yesterday, couldn't find it. And, I'm glad that he got into head-to-head. Unfortunately, going against Rome, qualified 5th. He's coming out here, and he's coming out in a massive way, and he delivered. So kudos to Rome Charpentier, moving on into the top 16. But,
Rome is on a mission this year early on. You can see that high qualifying position and the runs that he's putting together. I would have like to see more proximity from Rome in the chase position, but unfortunately the errors that Reeder made were just too much to overcome.
Well, again, a championship wasn't built in a day, just like Rome. So Rome Charpentier has to start here.
There you go.
And he'll be on the 16. Who's he going to go against? Well, we're almost halfway through after this next battle. And look at this, we got two fierce competitors, Daniel Stuki and that of Josh Love, 2 rookies. And they're going to go head to head. They said, here we are. They entered Pro Spec together. They entered Pro together. And here they are entering top 32 together. And these guys, just some great personalities. Stuki, that M Spec, he calls it the S14.9 carry the one. I don't know what they are.
What's the 0.9 part?
I don't know. Again, I'm bad at math. We're just not going to equate to that. I don't know. I looked down at my hands. I saw 10 fingers, so I said 10. That's what's going on there. All right, Daniel Stuki. Again, our Pro Spec rookie class, and Stuki was our top qualifier of the rookie class. Now keep in mind, we had 4 rookies going from Pro Spec to Pro. That of Love, Novak, Power, and Stuki, and then Darren Kelly, an international import for his first year in FD in the States. So Stuki and Love. Who you gonna love? Is it Love or Stuki? Stuki comes across the nose of the After Hours Autosports BMW. Now into view, Stuki gets out there. Love very shallow for that BMW. Stuki now to that last outside zone. Coming into the touch and go. A lot of nerves, you got to think, these guys. But that's got to be a level of comfort. As I said, these guys have a storied past. I followed them on Instagram and saw them this morning. They were doing autograph signing. They said, they've lived so close together. They've done this, they've done that. They're homies, and guess what? They are not homies at all right now.
I think Love's problem started early on here, right at initiation. If you look at his initiation, it was actually late.
Yep.
Didn't get the car to angle, really. Kind of drove around the first corner and then finally got angle in the car. In the lead position there, Stuki's doing a great job getting himself out to the zones. Got really far out in 3. And you can see Love putting out some pressure late in the run here, but I think the damage may have already been done in terms of his chase drive. I think that late initiation and slow rotation to angle is really going to hurt him. He's got a big mountain over kind of to climb up here to even the field.
Yep. All right, so Daniel Stuki, I believe the needle's going his way in regards to the outcome, so Love really needs to step up, and there it is. See the wing? Give moderns hell. That's Rome Charpentier. Looking good, new suit, new livery, same great attitude. Always we've been threatening to play golf. He now moved kind of close to me, and supposedly I play a lot of golf. If you follow me on Instagram, I play a lot, and he says he used to play as a kid, so I'm looking forward to hitting the links with the gentleman. We can go back to the line with our rookie class. 2 of the 4 members. pro spec to pro jump. And officially after this battle, we'll be halfway through our top 32. The AutoZone Streets of Long Beach, presented by Type S. Josh Love, After Hours, Motorsports, BMW, initiates. Quick little handbrake pull, nice job. That big Duck Club kit looking good. Is he gonna bang it on the wall? No, he does not. Keeps it off the wall. Shallower line. I think Daniel Stuki's really tempering back and kind of dialing it, knowing that he has an advantage here. No major mistakes, not an inactive chase. Unfortunately, right out of the gate for Love in the chase position, he needed to step up and he needed Daniel to make a mistake, and that's just not the case for Stuki. Again, the highest qualifier out of the newcomers into pro.
Yeah, Stuki knew that he had an advantage. He knows he needs to still put some pressure on, but not take any unnecessary risks. The only error I saw from Stuki is right there. There was a slight bobble and angle, but he stayed in drift. In the lead position, Love is getting to the zones, not filling them fully. You can see 3 here, he was off considerably. And Stuki's right there, mimicking his line, mimicking his angle, and getting through the course in that chase position nice and tight. So I think this should probably go Stuki's way pretty easily here. Unfortunately for Love, making those errors in the chase position on the first run is what sort of sealed his fate.
Again, 2 great personalities. Love these guys. Just the humility and just banging away, doing it for the cause. Stuki with the stunner shades on, and guess what? He's stunned Josh Love. So Stuki gets the win and moves on into top 16. He's going against the fierce Rome Charpentier. So guess what? It's going to be a tough one. So as we are now halfway, we are now halfway through our top 16. And overall, it has been a great day. And look at that, just, you know, the fans are educated. If they're hardcore, they're here for 32.
Absolutely.
Some people come during the halftime break because you can meet, greet, high fives, handshakes, get some gear, get some food, grab a good time. What are your thoughts, Ryan? I mean, you're consistently talking, you're judging. Your first top 32, you're here in the booth. What are your thoughts?
I'm loving it. This is where I was born to be, Jared. Right next to
you. Are you gunning for my job,
No,
bro?
no. This is where I want to be, right here. You always have to be there. Okay. But the drivers, I feel like, have stepped up in a big way from qualifying yesterday, and I think it had to do with that change in surface. The temperature, I think, changed quite a bit when the sun came out. The grip went up, and everybody was struggling, I would say. Not everybody, but a lot of the drivers were struggling. Like you said, the early drivers were probably really close to what they did in practice, but the later qualifiers were maybe struggling a little bit. But today, I'm seeing battles that are much closer to the walls, closer to the zones, and I think this is building up to be an awesome top 16. We're going to see people that know that if they don't do well here, they're going to have a hard time getting on that championship box. So
we're already talking about championship, Ryan. Come on, it's round one. The round 1 of 8. I know. Look,
you can never sleep.
I know, right? All right, when we come back, we'll see the continuation of top 32, the AutoZone Streets of Long Beach, presented by Type S. Ryan Lantain, Jared Dean, and Lorette Nickel. Don't go anywhere. Literally, like moments. We'll be back. Denofa, up next.
Wild in the mall. Help us tell the GR story.
You're right.
We need more cars.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
For those who don't settle when others do. Who will give everything but won't give up. For those who believe in unlimited while others limit themselves. For those who are set free by performance and believe innovation can take you anywhere.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Link ECU, Link Engine Management, official ECU of Formula Drift. K&N, the official performance filter of Formula Drift. Ford. Nitto.
What's up, guys? I'm Frederick Osbo, driver of the Rockstar Energy Toyota GR Supra.
My name is Simon Olsen. I'm the driver of Boost Race Fuel Toyota GR Supra.
Jerome Charpentier. I'm the pilot of the Garagistic E36.
I'm Travis Rear. This is my 2003 BMW M3.
I'm Ryan Tuerck, and I drive the Rain-X Toyota Racing Corolla hatchback.
I'm Matt Field, and this is my Corvette.
Boxers.
Briefs.
Boxers.
A mix.
Boxers.
Boxers, for sure. Or Commando, even.
Does it need to be one here or back home?
Odie.
Chris Forsberg.
Odie.
Dylan Hughes.
My spotter, Matt's for sure.
I want to fly.
X-ray vision.
Just time.
Being invincible, I guess?
Super strength.
Flying.
First drift car was a BMW E30.
The one behind me.
300ZX, a Z32.
Nissan Skyline ER34.
1991 Ford Mustang. I like doing CrossFit, a lot on Metcons, and just doing regular strength.
What's your workout routine? It's not.
Lift engines and work on cars all day. That's about it.
I try and drive about 90 to 100 days a year.
Probably still be racing motocross.
Brain surgeon, maybe? I wouldn't want that for my worst enemy.
I have no idea.
Oh, that's a tricky one. I would probably guess dirt bikes.
I don't ever have one pickup line. It's always say something mean, get right to the point, but not a dickhead, and then bring it back full circle and make them realize you're a human being. I thought you were supposed to make me laugh.
All right, welcome back as we are here. And we are going to be doing, we have our in between 32 and 16 going by the Fun Haver Tour presented by Type S. Autograph signing and pit party that happens every round. So if you're not here in the building, make sure you join the Fun Haver Tour. Again, today at 1:45 at the Fun Haver Tour. Adam LZ at Chelsea Nova. I believe Vaughn's going to be over there too. So if you're a Vaughn Gittin Jr., again, two-time FD champion, go ahead and head on over there as well. And
what a treat, Jared.
What a treat. This guy retires, and we just can't get rid of him. Vaughn's still here. Again, bets are on if he's going to be competing in Atlanta. Oh, I don't know. I'm joking. Again, there is the bracket, how it's shaping up. Tuerck versus Sorensen, Forsberg versus Hull, Odie Bakchis versus Dean Kearney, Rome Charpentier versus Daniel Stuki. Also, shout out to James Stephen, watching from Scotland. Happy birthday to you, homeboy. And also, I got a message from, I believe it's pronounced Tomi. Happy birthday, Tomi Long. May all your wishes come true, and hopefully Ryan Tuerck or Ken Goosh will let you ride in their car someday. And that's shout out from mom and dad. So again, Tomi, happy 17th birthday from the family at Formula Drift.
And I'd like to say hello to David Kalas, who's watching from Europe.
Oh, nice.
Czech. He's one of the judges with the FIA and everything that I've worked with over the years. He just said hi. Glad to see him watching.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so this is our first buy run of 22 because unfortunately Darren Kelly and that Aston Martin is a scratch. We're going to see that Heart of Racing Aston Martin Vantage in New Zealand, and would love to see the new engine. But the Pennzoil RTR Spec 5D. And it's got all the air being filtered through the K&N air filter. K&N air filter is the official air filter of Formula Drift. Home layout, listen to Mr. Chelsea DeNova.
That's the risk you take, Jared, on the wide line.
Yeah, that is true. And guess what? In between, the fans didn't see it, but we did have the street sweepers clean it up.
Right.
So that just goes to show you, you know.
Oh, so you're saying no excuse, Chelsea? Is that what you're saying right now?
Fact, no excuse for him to spin. We got rid of the marbles, dog. I mean, come on. You know, some people are playing checks and some people are playing chess and some people are playing checkers. I'm obviously playing neither of them. I'm up here talking smack. Regardless, Chelsea Nofa gets the win. He gets the bye run here because unfortunately Darren Kelly had to withdraw. And we will be seeing Chelsea Nofa in the 16.
Jared, we're finding out that Joao Barrion is calling a competition timeout in his C7 Corvette.
All right, so again, Joao Barrion back in the mix. He took a hiatus there in 21 in that interesting season, and now he's back. He says the car feels good, freshly prepared. He's all excited about it. Mickey Andrade from Throttle in the building. All right, and my man TJ Hunt, I guess he's coming in the building. Your son is on his way, Mickey, so TJ is on his way. Is he over there? He's been promising me these water bottles, and he never sends me anything. Yeah, he doesn't give you anything either. Yeah. All right, so the competition timeout of Joao Barrion from Brazil. And we are moving on to our next battle. Speaking of the Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32, your defending champion, Frederick Osbo. And guess what? I got to give a shout out because if you haven't seen the Lean Custom pins, I don't know if you could see that there, Kemp. Can you focus in on that thing right there? It's got a little shine. These dope Formula Drift Lean Custom pins. I'll pull it back a little bit, and it's about, yeah, so what it is it's actually Frederick Osbo's. It's Freddie's Supra with the trophy on the back. These are produced by Lean Customs, so go check out the boys at Lean. Limited edition to 500, but this one's pretty dope.
Focus.
It's all gold. It's pretty dope. So check out the boys at Lean either in the pits or online. All right, yeah, dude, all Norway, all Supra. Woo, look at this.
What are the chances, Jared?
Highly.
Wow.
No, I don't know. I'm joking.
They both ended up
going
against each other.
Yeah, two GR Toyota Supras, two kind of different setups. You got a 2J under the hood of Simon Olsen's car. Kind of a new look, a new aesthetic. Frederick Osbo, tried and true. This is the 3-liter stroked out to 3.2, looking consistent. He was the first ever run yesterday in qualifying because he finished overall in the championship #1. So he's got the gold nose, brought him some luck, and here he is once again defending champion. Frederick Osbo.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all I got.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, 2 Norwegian drivers and the Toyota GR Supra. Toyota making a really great effort this year. A lot of confidence in their corner. Appreciate Toyota support. And we have a special opening ceremonies activation. We'll see that after our top 16 driver intro. We have a special guest here.
Oh.
Gonna have some words with him. Pretty exciting, man.
I'm excited.
Yeah, have you seen that GR Corolla yet?
I was over there sniffing around it before we started
How
today.
does it smell?
It smells good, but it looks even better.
Yo,
do you like
it's
that carbon
fire.
fiber roof?
The pressed carbon fiber roof, just the different bits and bobs on it out of the gate says like so I'll be honest, my car DNA, love wagons. I had an 03 WRX wagon. I currently drive a Toyota Tundra. I've had a Jetta wagon. I've had a BMW wagon. I always love wagons, but I also love hatchbacks because my first ever car was a 96 Civic EK hatchback.
I'm curious how the Tundra fits into your wagon.
More of I needed a truck. I had an FJ Cruiser. I had to get rid of it because we had our second kid coming. You got to do military training with a baby seat to get that thing in. But regardless, I'm excited. I love the hatchback. So I'm excited about this 300 horsepower all-wheel drive Toyota GR Corolla. Just talking about. So let's talk about the keys to success again here real quick while we're cleaning up the track. Rockstar Energy Drink. Looks like we got thumbs up, but real quick, we're about to send it.
Yeah, that chase driver needs to know what the lead driver is going to be doing. The chase driver needs to position themselves properly behind the lead car all the way through. And you got to focus on proximity from start to finish. The more proximity you have, the better chance you are going to have of winning overall. Don't get lost in the smoke. And inside clip 1 is a tricky little spot. You don't want to go offline. You don't want to go entire over the line, and you don't want to take away the lead driver's line either.
And you don't want to go against a champ. So here's Simon Olsen. He's going to give it all he's got. Again, 2 Norwegian drivers, 2 Supra, but which one's going to lead? Frederick Osbo gets all the way out there, baby. Ooh, look at that. Right under the bridge. Frederick Osbo. This is why he's your defending champion. That confidence making its way from 21 to 22. Look at Simon Olsen, he's right there. That looked like a bumper. Don't know if he saw any tire treads go into that inside clip, but definitely obviously knocked it over. And Federal Tires underneath Simon Olsen's vehicle, Nitto's underneath Frederick Osbo.
So we're going to be looking at how Simon Olsen achieved his proximity here, how he maintained it. So good initiation for both. Simon's already on a tighter line there, and you're going to see Osbo go really wide in outside zone 1 and 2 for that matter. But Simon Olsen's on a tighter line right here at 3, much tighter line. And then as they transition, Simon Olsen goes on the inside as well. And you can see there, didn't quite drop a tire over the line, but got on the line. So he's sort of safe in that respect. But watching from the sky here, you can really see how Simon's going to be on that tighter line. Look at Osbo right out to the wall. Great transition out to the wall. He's got the X factors here in his first run of top 32. I think are stronger than his X factors were in qualifying yesterday. He's looking really strong, really confident, and he's throwing the car around kind of with that X factor that we want to see, like just lock to lock, not really controlling the steering wheel very much, letting the car move around, and that's what we want to see from those lead drivers.
And that's something that I really appreciate, because I've always said X Factor just kind of casually, as just with anything. If it's a stick and ball sport, if it's music, X Factor, you've brought that into the official judging vernacular as a unit of measure, which I think is just that, like, that undescribable, like, holy cow, like, did you see that, like that
speechless. The little extra something that makes a driver stand out from the rest.
Dope. Here we go, Simon Olsen, he's gonna lead, but guess what? He's got that gold nose Toyota GR Supra in his rearview mirror. Here we go, look at that, dropping into formation. There goes Simon, out to the outside, so he tapped, he comes back. That's gonna hurt him, unfortunately. So as Simon Olsen gets disrupted, bashes in that great looking Supra, Frederick Osbo, you know what? I think he was just like, okay, you go ahead. He gave him a little bit of room, and that paid off, because if he was too close, that would have been, bam, we see 2 Supras, 1 crash.
Yeah, because if Osbo had been right there, that transition that he did was a forced transition, really. The way that the car bounced off the wall, that would have, he potentially could have made contact with Osbo. So let's look at it from our best view possible, the sky. So you can see Osbo's right there. Olsen pulls away just ever so slightly, smacks there, and then the car transitions way too early. It wouldn't be called an opposite, almost called an opposite drift, but it wouldn't be. He manages to stay in angle. The car didn't transition back or anything like that. So definitely going to be held against Simon Olsen in the lead there. That's a huge mistake. So watch the hit here. You can see him angle up just before the hit. The transition happens. Osbo actually mimics his transition and follows him through the course. This is something we always tell drivers to do. Mimic what the lead driver is doing, even if it's wrong and it's not dangerous. And Osbo actually transitioned in a super awkward spot really early and matched what he was doing, matched his line, matched his angle through the rest of the run, which is phenomenal for a chase driver to be able to adapt that quickly. That's God level status of driving. That's phenomenal.
God level, wow. Okay, that's championship level.
To do something that quick and respond that fast and match what he was doing, that's phenomenal.
You know what they say about, praising the wrong God? Don't praise the golden God. Guess what? His car is gold. Well, regardless, we know he's a champion. We know his car is gold, and he is currently the rock star. And he's a Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota Supra. Moving on, Simon Olsen bashes in his HGK Toyota Supra, and he will be moving on. That is Frederick Osbo. I'm seeing an RX-8 of Kyle Mohan. And what are the updates with Joao Barrion?
Joao Barrion did not make it, so he did not complete the repairs that he was aiming to repair in that competition timeout. He had 5 minutes, and the 5 minutes elapsed before they could finish. So clearly it was something that was bad enough, catastrophic enough, whatever it was, that he could not come back out here to drive right now.
Saw him last night at dinner, and him and his lady, they were chilling. But right now, let's lay out the lone Rotary in the business. I know there's some Rotary fans out there and online. So let's listen to Kyle the Menace Mohan from Long Beach, California. Renewable lubricants, Mazda Tricks, Mazda RX-8. And that's a slow crawl. Make some noise for him as he goes by. Kyle Mohan, the Menace, will be going on into top 16. as Kyle Mohan makes his way. Let's go down to Lorette Nickel. You can see the smile on the face. Lorette is with Freddie Osbo right now. Lorette, I see you unstrapping there. Lorette, down to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jared. Well, some high praise from Judge Ryan. And Freddie, you matched the line, you matched the angle, even though it was wrong, but you did everything right as the chase driver. Unbelievable job out there. How did you put it all together?
Oh, for the chase. Well, you know, Simon is a good buddy of mine. I'm kind of the veteran and he's the rookie, right? So we go on the ice all the time in the winter, and you know, stuff happens, and my job is to try and mimic, and that's all I'm trying to do. And luckily, Simon is one I trust. I trust that he can hold it together even when unplanned stuff like that happens, and yeah, I just went for it.
Yeah. And not that I meant you did anything wrong. It was the prescribed line that was on. You knew what I meant. Well, Freddie, congratulations. Great job on your win.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Guys.
Well, Lorette, guess what? Well, you got a smirk on your face, Ryan. People
so humble.
People can't see it.
My job is to chase. I chase. I mimic. Like it's nothing.
I got no strings to pull me down to make me sing. That's a Pinocchio reference, hence it's gonna be May. That's in sync as puppets as well. Well, what I was gonna say is Osbo gets the win. Is he gonna go against his Toyota GR teammate of Jonathan Castro, or is Alec Robbins from Minnesota in that Facetto Nissan Z gonna take him out? So I'll tell you what, Alec Robbins, he's got some experience under his belt. He's been here to Long Beach before. Castro, new car, and guess what? He's running the same engine that Freddie's running as well, but brand new build, new chassis, same engine, but it's not stroked. It's just a 3-liter. They didn't stroke it out to 3.2.
Okay.
But the LS under the hood, or sticking out of the hood of that Nissan 350Z, regardless. Castro, Robbins, here we go. First outside zone. Look at Robbins getting aggressive. Drops into the door. Woo! There goes Castro. We're talking about how smooth. New look, new engine, but same old Castro. Out to that final outside zone. Let's see how he handles the touch and go. Ooh, Alec Robbins taking a very interesting line there. Dropped into formation, but early on that touch and go. That was really unique of Alec Robbins, but I'll tell you what, we talked about it offline, Ryan, but Castro, new look, new engine, new setup, new, but the same drive and just that DR spirit from Dominican Republic of Jonathan Castro.
Yeah, I think this new car, new engine combo has really given him a lot of confidence. Maybe that was lacking in the past. Now he has the whole package, everything's there, and you can see that Robbins gets really close right away, and it kind of bites him because he had nowhere to go. But in the lead position there, you can see that Castro is doing a great job. Kind of off 2 there, but he could be better, a little bit wider. Did well on 3, but watch Reeder as he dives in. Sorry, Reeder.
Robbins
Okay. As he dives in on the inside clip. He predicts really well where Castro is going to be. So watch this. He just flicks the car in. He's got momentum built up, and he uses it. Get right in there on the side of Castro. He falls off a little bit as they go by the clip, but it was a nice calculation, let's say, on Robbins' part as he gets right in there. He transitioned before Castro did and still positioned his car right. But you can see that the way he went in there, he had to slow down a little too much, and then Castro pulled away. But I think the main area of concern, the main area of focus is initiation to outside zone 1, where Robbins got too close, didn't really have anywhere to go, and then completely missed outside zone 1, was on the wrong line going to 2, so that's going to hurt him in a big way. So Castro now needs to put together a clean chase. Just no errors, stay behind him, mimic, proximity, all those things together, and he'll be able to walk away with this. But Robbins has an opportunity in the lead. He can get closer to the zones. He can put together a really difficult to chase lead, and then maybe Castro will make errors in the chase. So these are the things that they have to look at.
Robbins is a very aggressive driver, and look at that. You see him, initiate on that. Ooh, now he's taking that tighter line. See, he's aggressive, but almost too early, and there it is again. Maybe some nerves here for Alec Robbins. Castro, if I'm Castro, he's got to kick back. He's got to lay back. So hopefully the spot, again, very tight line. Robbins took it out. Don't know. I didn't have a chance to talk to Robbins prior to the race, prior to the event, excuse me. But overall, I know him as a very aggressive driver. He has a lot of fun, but again, notably, I just remember St. Louis, was it last year or the year before, very aggressive.
Very much so. So interesting here right away that Castro was so far back at initiation. He didn't have the proximity that you'd like to see, but you can see Robbins in the lead, completely missing outside zone 1 on that super tight line, which is going to cause him to go even further ahead of Castro, who's trying to keep up in the chase. That's partially on Castro for not being close at the beginning. I don't know if there was an issue at the start line maybe where Castro didn't get quite the start that he was hoping for, but in this sense, I think Robbins kind of blew a big opportunity here. Had he put together a good lead, it would have given him a good opportunity, but he missed a lot of the important parts of the track, unfortunately.
Yeah, that just didn't pay off for Robbins. Watch this initiation again. I mean, there's a 3, 2, 1, initiates at the 2 cone, taps that, but then it grips up. Yeah. So it's that fine balance. And now, like we said earlier, you can't really blame it on track because we got a good white balance going here. If you're into photography or video, it's just a nice white balance, which is going to equate to an even surface outside of the black and the gray towards the end, but it should be consistent. So there we go. Let's make it official. Guess what? It's going to be an all-Toyota battle in top 16. Frederick Osbo going against Jonathan Castro, flying that DR flag. Congratulations to Jonathan Castro. A great amount of momentum and excitement for him. New GR86 with that new 3-liter engine. Great job for Castro.
Yeah, that's a great looking car. Just overall, aesthetically, I love the new GR86 and the way they put that design together for that specific car with that engine package. That's a great car.
Yep.
Looks great.
Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32 continues, and this gentleman, second overall in the championship, the beast from the Bay, the Drift Cave Falcon Tire C6 Corvette from San Jose, California. Just about to tie the knot with his lovely bride here in a little bit. This guy's having so much fun. Him and Ripper getting out on the boat. Going against Mike Power. Mike Power, another rookie. So welcome to pro, bro. You're going against the beast. You know, Matt Field in that Falcon Tire Drift Cave. He's feeling the heat wave. He's got the shades on. He's got the Momo suit on. He's looking fresh. Just a fun-loving cat. You know, saw him at Pike Bar Wednesday night. His car was there. They rode bird scooters. They got off the boat, went out to Catalina. I mean, you know, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
Living the dream, really.
If I'm in his dream, I don't know, is that really a dream?
Answer that, Jared.
It's a loaded question. I know the answer. Regardless, Matt Field, Mike Power. Talk about Mike Power. Just I like his personality. I like his attitude. He's doing cool things on social media. Definitely a great follow. Love the Essa Teen. It's one of my favorite drift cars of all time. Not taking anything away, but like your children, you know, it's hard to pick your favorites, but I've always loved the Essa Teens. I think it's a great setup. It kind of suits Mike Power's style, kind of rock and roll East Coast. He's from New York. Big power on the side, and it's great to see him out here. Shout out to Jer Underwood. What's up, Jer? I know you're tuning in. It's great to see you tuning in, homeboy. Let's go ahead and extinguish those lights. Where are we at? Matt or Mike? Field or Power?
Wow, what happened there? Was that a restart?
No. I don't think that's a restart. That might be Mike Power. We'll find out officially, but Matt Field continues through the course, and that's exactly what he needs to do. He's in that big position. He shouldn't park it. Look at that. I mean, Matt Field, the Ford Star wheels go round with the Falcon tires wrapped around him. Nice job there.
That's a high-level run, Jared.
That was, I mean, if that's a qualifying run, that was 90s, easily. Mike Power slowly trickles through the course. And keep in mind, remember, Mike Power used his competition timeout yesterday.
Oh, no.
He used it in qualifying. And as we said, you only get one for the entirety of the weekend. That's qualifying day and game day. So if Mike needs to get hands on his car, he's going to have a scratch. And now he's out front.
Yeah, his car's running. He was able to drive through the course. We don't know to what level it's. I don't even know if it's damaged or if it's stalled, or he's talking to somebody at the finish line now. So we're going to get maybe a little bit of feedback here. Maybe Pat can fill us in if he hears what happened on the radio. But it looks like he's driving back to the pit area. He's not coming through to the start line. So we'll get an update here from Pat.
And yes, it is official. Mike Power is a scratch. So unfortunately for Mike Power, talking him up, great to see a new addition here in pro, but those are the breaks. And sometimes, you know, you risk it for the biscuit. He, again, uses one and only competition timeout yesterday. He was the last driver to qualify, and he called his he was the second to last, called his comp timeout, and then you only get one and you are done. So, and he knows who he's going against, Matt Field. Matt Field will complete his second run there. Yeah, so Matt Field will complete his second run there. Mike Power's out. Matt Field moves on to top 16. This will be essentially a bye run for him. Yep. Matt Field, the beast from the Bay, second overall in the championship. Falcon Tire, Drift Cave, Heat Wave, having fun. Momo, Ford Star. And he's ready to throw down as he will advance on top 16. Who's he going against? It'll be either Ryan Litteral in his Power Stop S15 or Jonathan Hurst, that Cass Racing brand new BMW for him, the E46. You can see them in the wings. But let's lay out for Matt Field, Falcon Tire Drift Cave Corvette. Layout list of the Beast of the Bay.
Well, Matt Field had a buy run there, and he made it count. He made it count.
Yeah, he could have chilled there, but zero chill Field. I don't know if you ever met him before.
Just squished the bumper into the outside zone 2 wall and on throttle. That was a really great run. He had a bit of a bobble there, you know, not that it counts for anything, but he, I think he was maybe using this run to test out like how far he could push things, knowing that if he did spin, it wouldn't matter, and made it look great.
Yeah, and those aren't cheap bumpers. HGK coming us from Latvia. Shout out to Christos Blush and the HGK fam. What's going on as he's going for it. So we only got 3 battles left. Ryan Litteral versus Jonathan Hurst. Dylan Hughes versus JTP. Adam LZ versus Masuyama. But that is how top 16 is shaping up. And again, let's throw it down to Laurent Nickel, who is not having his last name. He doesn't have the power. Mike Power, down to you, buddy. Taking a look overhead, Lorette. When you find Mike Power, let us know. Look at this. Look at the line still up there. People still streaming in, and like I said, the stands are filling up because some fans, man, they come here. They're there when the gates open. They're psyched. They're hyped. They got their coffee. Now looks like we got a little more adult beverages being thrown around here. Some snacks, some food, some gear, some good times. But that line is still going out to will call. And great car show. Yo, how about that BMW 8 Series with that Motorsports M livery right there? See new NSX. There's an Il Evo. Some great cars over there in the car show.
Some Lamborghinis, Ferraris,
yeah,
new
you like the
Corvette.
supercars. Look at that. Yo, look at the peach-colored Silvia. Oh man, there's some dope cars over there.
Yeah. I did see a nice R32 in there too. I like the Japanese stuff. Get out.
I know you do. I know you do. You know, and Ryan, again, I think the first car you ever drift competed in was the GTO, right? The BF Goodrich GTO.
Yeah, it was. But I started driving an R32 Skyline.
That's right.
I learned how to drift in. Yeah.
All right, let's go back to the action that's going down here. Ryan Litteral, Jonathan Hurst. Ryan Litteral, the Power Stop brakes. S15, he's on GT Radials. From the IE, now in Colton, California. Jonathan Hurst from Paducah, Kentucky. Love this gentleman. The machine gun. Listen to this thing. This thing fires off. And we got the RB powered Silvia S15. Throws it in. Nice job by Ryan Litteral. Now into that first outside zone. Gets all the way out there. Taps the bumper. Oh boy. So what was interesting there, Ryan, was I want to take a look at again. Jonathan Hurst unfortunately slams that right end in. Did he impede his line? It seemed that. I want to take a look at it again.
Ryan Litteral was on that outside zone 1 really, really long. And I think Jonathan Hurst didn't have anywhere to go, and he ended up getting his nose next to Ryan. Ryan transitioned and hit Hurst's front end, which sent him into the wall. So it comes down to positioning. When you're out there on the track, you want to make sure you're not in the way of a potential transition. This goes for initiation as well. Same thing. But
watch this.
You can see Ryan getting all the way out to outside zone 1. Watch the rear of his car. Gets out there, but he hangs onto it really long and then snaps really
that
fast.
moved the wall.
Yeah, Hurst was right there. Hurst had, you can see the bend of the wall there where they, that was a massive hit. So we're
this is going to be good. Like you said, he hangs out there.
Way beyond the zone. And then Hurst, it just looked like Hurst was trying to be close, but then got choked up because Litteral slowed down to try to get the car rotated. Hurst had nowhere to go, but was trying to slow, ended up getting his nose next to Litteral. Litteral transitions, makes contact with the front end of his car.
And to Litteral's defense here, I think it's just a perfect storm.
It is. I'm not blaming it on Litteral whatsoever. It was an error that was made. He tried to snap the car, and it was a quick transition. It was going to look cool, but he definitely overshot outside zone 1, and Hurst just was probably like, what do I do? Where do I go back here?
Yeah, and that's just, I'm just going to call it out. Jonathan Hurst, you know, he's not a rookie. He's proven, you know, it's a new car for him. It's the debut of his new car. Yep. The AZ Rag BMW E46 looks great. Obviously love it. He's out of the car. Hey, round of applause. And I'm seeing him hobble there a little bit, so
Yeah,
safety
he's not
is
gonna
our
be
number
happy.
one priority. So might have hurt his foot, but the Cash Racing, again, the AZ Rag BMW, our first victim into this wall.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for a new build, especially. Not how you want your first round to go with a new build. But again, this track, unforgiving, and it's going to take us a few minutes to get that wall straightened out. We see the big lift over there, so they're going to get all this fixed up.
Yep.
But the main thing is that he is not injured. Like you said, it looks like he has a bit of a limp, but hopefully they get an EMT to have a look at him real quick. That car does not look like they will be fixing it for the next run. I'm no mechanic, but it looks like it's pretty terminal in terms of damage, unfortunately for him. And we're going to have to get, I guess, fault assessed here.
Yeah,
so I'm going to have to go away for a minute.
Yeah, you go ahead and focus on that. You discuss with your judges over here, Ryan Lontaine. He's going to talk with Chris Ewell and Brian Eggert, see who's at fault here. But Jonathan Hurst outside of his car, you can see him right there. Unfortunate turn of events. The AZ Rag Dynasty tuned E46 from Paducah, Kentucky. This gentleman, always a pleasure. Loud car. I'm seeing him hobbling. I don't know if that was a previous injury or if it just hit. He did hit that wall hard. So right now, how this is going to unfold is the judges need to admit fault, see what's going on here. That would dictate, you know, does Ryan Litteral continue up? I mean, look, that front right end, that is a massive blow to that vehicle. And, you know, I don't want to make any kind of predictions, but we've seen cars getting written off here. You know, we've seen Darren McNamara crashed a car years ago. Ryan Tuerck most recently rode off a car, built one, but also to the point of coming back and fighting back. Ryan Tuerck that same year wins New Jersey. So just to tell you that these drivers, these teams, the thrashing begins now for the Jonathan Hurst and his AZ Rag Dynasty BMW E46. So we'll clean up here on aisle 1 or aisle 9, depending on what racetrack you're racing. But again, this infamous track playing host to AutoZone Streets of Long Beach, presented by Type S. When we come back, we'll clean up the track. We'll get back to the action. We'll find out what the outcome is of Litteral and Hurst, and then 2 more battles after that. Notably, Adam LZ, our last battle, making a new coming into a Formula Drift Pro behind the wheel of Ford Mustang. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, more action here on the streets of Long Beach. Your first ever three-peat champion, 2017, 2018, and now 2019 Formula Drift champ. It is James the Machine D.
The first time you try Pedal Commander, you'll feel oh yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Michael Essa. You can check me out on the Throttle app. Come by the Throttle booth. My car is going to be out there, and we're also going to be giving away 25 of these limited edition Michael Essa pins. 11 o'clock Saturday. See you guys there.
You ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind, 'cause I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on the way. Yeah. I'm on the way. On the way. Yeah. On the way. I'm on the way. I'm on the way. Sweet baby.
Made in Japan. Breed.
Your future in high-performance motorsports begins at the University of Northwestern Ohio.
There is no other school like UNOH to teach you the things, not only for Monster Jam, but for the hot rod community.
With 70% hands-on learning, no out-of-state tuition, and top-of-the-line instructors, you'll go from learning to earning with the industry leader in motorsports education.
I love waking up to come to school.
This facility here has all the tools, instructors, and knowledge that you need to go out and be successful in the field.
Your journey to the fast lane begins at UNOH.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Air Force, Aim High. Type S, official lighting sponsor of Formula Drift. Lights, camera, power, fun. GT Radial, experience the performance.
We are back here, AutoZone, streets of Long Beach, and there are the literal streets of Long Beach. Cow Club out here. Thank you to the men and women out there in white, our corner workers and our track workers. We got notably Bill up in the tower. He's removed himself from the trackside activities and up here eye in the sky. But thank you to Cow Club. They straightened out the wall, but unfortunately Jonathan Hurst, his car not so straight. But Ryan Lontaine, you and the other judges, Chris Yule and Brian Eggert, you elaborated on the outcome here, because basically when an incident happens, collision, crash, contact, all of it, you need to decipher who's at fault. With that situation, explain to myself and the fans what transpired and who's at fault.
So in this situation, you have to put yourself in a chase driver's position and what you are able to really do with what the lead driver is doing in front of you. We always put a lot of stress, a lot of emphasis on that lead driver. You need to do a 100-point lead run. You have to be
walk us through it. Here it is.
Yeah, following the decel map, the momentum map. So watch Ryan Litteral. First of all, where the zone is. He's going way beyond the zone. Big angle, slows down. Hurst doesn't have anywhere to go in the chase position. That is a vital area. The drivers have pointed it out in the briefings to us as well. They've made a point of it. That is an area where that lead driver needs to be on throttle, needs to be doing what they're supposed to be doing. So watch Ryan Litteral here, the zone, way beyond the zone out there, and then kind of comes to I wouldn't say he slowed down aggressively, but he definitely slowed down in that area. Hurst, in that case, is behind him, like wondering, where are you going to do? What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Trying to maintain proximity at the same time. And then you could see Hurst started to do his transition slightly right as Ryan snapped a car and hit him. And in that situation, we deemed Ryan Litteral to be at fault because he was so offline there. He was filling that zone way beyond. He actually drew a new rubber line there with his outside left rear tire. And Hurst just had literally nowhere to go. And in that situation, we have to put fault on Litteral. And it sounds like Lorette Nichols is going to be down there talking to...
Unfortunate outcome there for Jonathan Hurst, but Litteral is at fault. We'll see if the car is repairable, and that was a massive hit. So let's throw it down to Lorette Nichols.
Thanks, guys. Jonathan is standing right next to me. We saw you get out of the car and limping. First and foremost, are you okay?
Yeah, I might have broke my foot or a couple of toes or something, but like physically, I'm okay. It was a really hard hit. Probably really wasn't all Ryan's fault. You know, if you're up running the man line, we say you get kind of left hung if you're in the chase. And I knew I had to send it every time, every battle, every driver here, everything matters, So I just sent it, I knew I was right on his door. Kind of got in the smoke line a little bit, and I seen him park it, and it just like ice, and I just had nowhere to go. And when he transitioned, it just threw me right to the wall, and it was probably the harder hit that I've had. The car's pretty messed up, but if we could at least get a cool over and something, we might be able to get it back on the ground, at least try to get it back out there. So.
And I heard, here, come take a step out here with me. There's a lot of metal back here, so might not be that great for the broadcast, but I heard you say I can drive it. Is that the plan?
If I can get the coilover on, I can drive it. It doesn't matter. I don't care if it's broken. If I got to run less angle to get it through the course, whatever we got to do so we can make it to 16. So,
Jonathan, thank you so much. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Lorette. I mean, the spirit of Paducah. Round of applause for Jonathan Hurst, that AZ Rag Dynasty tuned. Again, from Paducah, Kentucky. Yeah, I'm all right. I might have broke a foot or some toes. If that happens to me, I'd have been like, yeah, I'm crying. Yeah. I'm hurting, man. But that just let's take a look and let's take a listen to the impact here, because I believe our gentleman's got the audio. Let's listen.
was a hard hit, Jared.
It was a hard hit, and we're not sensationalizing the crash. Some people like watching other motorsports because they're waiting for the crash. Fortunately, this is the first one we've seen of the day.
Yep.
He is walking around. He's all right outside of a broken foot or toes. That's the quote. I mean, that's the notable quotable right there. But so in regards to Jonathan Hurst now, he says, I need a coilover, I'll drive it. What have we calculated? Because Ryan Litteral's at fault, that changes things. It's not a competition timeout.
Right.
Ryan, you're the judge.
Yeah, so that means because he was not at fault, he will be given an automatic 10-minute that doesn't count against his competition timeout. If Ryan Litteral has damage on his car from the impact, he'll have to call a competition timeout to fix it. Now, let's say the 10 minutes for Hurst is not enough. Hurst can then call his competition timeout as well. So then he could theoretically have 15 minutes if he needs the whole thing, which I'm guessing for this type of repair he might. It looks like they haven't even touched the car yet, so the timer still hasn't even started right now. So they're standing there with the clock, I'm guessing, ready to hit the start button on that 10-minute clock.
And what's interesting here is, this is the first portion of this battle. And yeah, look, I mean, they're going to act like a pit crew. So, Kevin Wells and the boys are down there. And like you said, 10-minute allotment, there's the clock, 10 minutes has started. So the 10-minute allotment, because he's not at fault. But what's also interesting here is that, if he's unable to fix it, Ryan Little's able to run. Ryan took him out. Is that the scenario? And it happens the way it does. Oh, I'm seeing brake calipers.
Yeah, there's
that whole corner, man. That's going to be a lot to make up.
You'd have to expect the frame rail goes a certain distance. They can't cut the whole. They have a little bit they can cut off, but potentially the frame rail up there is bent as well. There could be more damage than they think. They moved that wall. Those two concrete walls over there. Those are not light walls. So.
And look at that. Look at Hurst. Hurst, the spirit of Paducah, getting underneath there. Our NGK competition timeout. And let's just, we'll focus in on them as I believe we'll move on to our next battle between Dylan Hughes and Justin Pawlak. But we'll keep you abreast of the situation, what's going on here. NGK makes ignition coils. Why? Because we prefer a running partner that can keep pace. We know ignition, and since our spark plugs don't run alone, we put some of our own energy and expertise into making a better coil. NGK ignition coils are engineered to OE durability and performance. And because we race to win, we continue to improve the design, testing, and validation of our ignition coils to make installation easier and performance better. NGK spark plugs and coils, better together. Let's go back into our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32, and here is Dylan Hughes and JTP, Justin Pawlak. Now, Dylan Hughes, he is driving that BMW, which him and his Royal Purple teammates, Travis Reed, look similar, but Dylan Hughes buys, he wants to 2J the world. Justin Pawlak obviously has the Ford power plant under the hood of his Falcon Tires Ford Mustang. So let's see how Justin Pawlak fares. Dylan Hughes, he qualified well yesterday. Dylan Hughes, Royal Purple, 2JZ powered BMW. He's on Falcon tires. He's made the switch to Falcon, so it's an all Falcon battle. And Dylan Hughes qualified 6th. JTP, excuse me. Remember, he had a 0 and incomplete on his first run. Let's see how he goes and throws it down. Dylan Hughes in that first outside zone. Dylan Hughes gets it outside zone, really well executed. Doesn't get to the second outside zone of the bridge. That allows Justin Pawlak to gain that proximity. He's right there. Justin Pawlak now takes the shower line. Dylan gets the outside zone 3 transition. A late transition there by JTP. Both of them bring it around. Little bumper tap there. So you saw Dylan get close to the outside zone 1. Justin was not. Dylan, who came up short on the second outside zone, that allowed Justin to catch up, but it might have kind of bit off more than he could chew, because watch zone 3.
Yeah, watch these cars move around as they come to initiation. Look at JTP swinging that car around, gets the car to angle. You can see that in the lead there. Hughes is doing a great job on outside zone 1. Like you said, JTP wasn't quite there, but then we had a huge
watch
handbrake
3, look
pull.
at that. Dylan gets out there, but Justin a little short.
But Dylan Hughes had a huge handbrake pull where we really don't like to see a handbrake pull, and that is in a vital area between outside zone 2 and outside zone 3, and it's one that we talked about in the briefing last night. Do not pull the handbrake there, and you can see JTP had to kind of check up a bit in the chase.
Where are you saying? 2 to 3?
Earlier.
Oh, okay, thank you. 1 to 2.
The other view, no, earlier between zone 2 and 3, he had a big handbrake pull, and you can see Justin getting closer there and probably being a little bit concerned about, he's slowing down. Of course, some of the drivers say their cars speed up when they pull the handbrake, but
You're proving Isaac Newton wrong, by the way.
What's that?
Nothing.
Oh, yeah, we tend to have disagreements on these things in the briefing from time to time. So you can see there that frame rail's bent up. Look at that shock tower, how far it is now compared to where it was previously. That's a significant amount of movement in that shock tower and frame rail. There's about 6 minutes left on that clock. We know that they do have a competition timeout that they can call after that. So that's about a 5-minute addition to that time that could be made if they need it.
So Jonathan Hurst, you saw him back there. Looks like all hands on deck. Simon Olsen team and Jonathan Hurst working and thrashing on that vehicle. And now we are seeing JTP out front. And great eye, again, looking at Dylan, you saw that handbrake pull. That throws Justin Pawlak off, and that's a really good assessment there in regards to JTP in the chase. So Justin Pawlak will lead. And Dylan Hughes will give chase.
We just got the sending cars yell, so the lights should be going off. There they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Bing bong.
There.
Here we go. Justin Pawlak, Falcon Tires, Ford Mustang, Link Engine Management. Let's see what we got. Initiation by Justin Pawlak. Quick little handbrake that is in the decel area as denoted by the judges. Under that second outside zone. Dylan Hughes off of that third outside zone, and here's Justin with the clean air. Really well executed, but does it come down to that handbrake pull? I think that's going to be the deciding factor. Really excited for Dylan Hughes' year. Has a lot of confidence. Again, qualifying 6th yesterday. Justin had that incomplete. He hit the wall, and when I talked to him yesterday, he said on initiation on the first run, he hit the wall, the battery slid out, and cut the engine off.
That's why, okay. So here we go, JTP, pretty wide outside zone 1. Good job on 2. You can see a nice arc being drawn by JTP from 2 to 3. And in the chase, you can see that Hughes is trying to stay close. He had a couple of bobbles there, some handbrake pulls himself in the chase, which is fine in the chase. You do what you need to do in that chase position to stay close. But you can see that, let's watch from this angle. JTP, nice, decent lined outside zone 1. Hughes could have been deeper there as well. And then right here, Justin's on throttle, no handbrake pulls, and that's what we like to see. Momentum, working the car out on throttle. Oh, there was a handbrake pull from JTP right there, an outside zone. Number 3. What did JTP say in the meeting yesterday about pulling handbrake between
his car goes faster
in the middle? No, he had a different comment that I probably can't repeat here.
Okay.
But that's interesting that he had a pull right there.
Yeah, we don't film the drivers' meetings by design.
For good reason.
Good reason, because there's a little spirited conversation sometimes that happen, and that's put in nicely. No, all joking aside, the judges, Brian Eggert, Chris Yule, Ryan Lontaine, they converse just for the betterment of the sport to refine what to give clarification. And there's so many different driving styles. Here is our BC Racing Custom Coilover side-by-side. Go for gold. Speaking of gold, who's going for it?
So watching this side-by-side, look at the similarities in line between JTP and Hughes. Hughes got wider on 1, but JTP got wider on 2. Right there, Hughes had a e-brake pull, and then Justin had one a little bit later in his lead. This is a very close battle when you look at it side-by-side like this. There's some mistakes made by both drivers, some errors from both drivers, and some corrections by both drivers.
There's 3 minutes left, and that's on the initial. So if you're just tuning in, Jonathan Hurst goes hard into the wall after contact by Ryan Litteral. Ryan Litteral was deemed at fault, so there's a 10-minute allotment for Hurst and this AZ Rag Dynasty tuned BMW. So Litteral was at fault, 10-minute allotment, and here we go. Slide him left for Dylan Hughes, right for Justin Pawlak, and there it is, 2-1. One more time. One more time. That's our first OMT we've seen for today. So a one more time battle, and Ryan, you're Canadian. That's you. We're in the middle. And who's won? Is it Eggert, Yule?
I think it's Yule, me, Eggert.
Okay. Yeah, is that correct? Eggert, you're last. Okay. So Eggert and Yule went the other direction.
Yep.
And what your reasoning there as we're getting what would be our final battle, but I know a lot of fans are watching, tuning in. Adam LZ and Masuyama was to be our final battle, but we'll see what the outcome is between Hurst, his vehicle, and Litteral. But the outcome, OMT.
Yeah, OMT for me was because of the similarities in the errors that were made. They sort of traded errors off. One was off of 1, one was off of 2. They both had handbrake pulls where they shouldn't have had handbrake pulls. And the proximity was sort of similar between the two. They both made errors that I'd like to see cleaned up, and I'd like to see one driver really kind of dominate over the other in both roles.
Man, I'm seeing a lot of power tools there, shaving metal, getting things off. paint. I mean, this is you're seeing all hands on deck. Here it is, Adam LZ and Wataru Masuyama. Masuyama in that S15, and again, you know, just that Buy Now Japan Sylvia S15. Adam LZ in the AutoZone RTR Spec 5D. Adam LZ getting picked up by the RTR team. Von Kitten Jr. saying, see you later, not goodbye, it's see you later. He says he might be coming back to competition. When that is, TBD. But right now, it's all about LZ, Adam LZ and Masuyama. A lot of eyeballs on him and a lot of eyeballs on that clock. Kevin Wells holding that. So less than a minute, but as you said, Ryan, after this 10-minute eclipses, another 5-minute, AKA competition timeout, can be called in order to get that car running. So looking for a coilover, and he's looking for, you know, a little Hail Mary.
Right. Clearly, he's going to have to call that CTO right now, the competition timeout, as there's only 30 seconds left. And if Jonathan Hurst does not repair his car because he was not at fault, he will get the win for the bracket. He'll get the points. But then...
Say that again?
If Jonathan Hurst can't repair his car because he was not at fault, he technically wins, but does not move on to the next round of competition.
And that's the clarification I was looking for. So thank you. Here we go. Right now, Adam LZ, AutoZone, RTR Spec 5D on Ditto tires, going versus Masuyama in that Buy Now Japan Sylvia S15. Adam LZ, little handbrake pull there. Masuyama tucks in. Adam LZ doesn't get all the way out there, but definitely looks good. Again, a little shallow on that outside zone 2 into outside zone 3. Consistently about the same distance off of all the outside zones. Let's see if we can dial it here on this inside clip. A little bit of scrub allowed Masuyama to gain. Good run there from LZ, but you got to think, you know, he wants to drive, you know, he has driven the other vehicle. Now the car he wants to drive is the Ford Mustang. So as we see Adam LZ run through the course, like I said, a lot of eyeballs on him. How's he gonna do? He kind of likes the J, you know, he's driven S13s, S15s, and now behind the wheel of a big blue oval that is the Ford Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Let's go ahead and talk about Jonathan Hurst, because this is where the real, guess what? Let's look at the run again. Psych.
Here's the run from LZ and Masuyama. You can see LZ on throttle at the right place after initiation. Could have been wider on 1, could have been wider on 2. Masuyama, good mimic in the chase, but he's not really following the line as well as we'd like to see. His nose is in a little bit too much. Right here, though, he tucks into the right position, gets around that inside clip without making contact with it. I think that LZ could have been wider, could have widened that whole drive out. Did a good job of getting to the zone in the right spot, but just not getting wide enough to it. You can see here outside zone 3, like you said, pretty consistent on how far off of all those zones he was. You know, the 4 feet off maybe. Could have tightened that up a little bit. Masuyama, proximity-wise, did okay. Had to make a couple of compromises here and there to maintain that proximity, but overall looked great.
And you know, I think with Masuyama not being close, that let Adam LZ's kind of small differences shine a little less, right? So if Masuyama was applying the pressure, I don't think, you know, it would have made LZ's kind of lack of proximity to the wall shine a little more. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
potentially.
Yeah, so Masuyama, he could have been closer. So right now, I think Adam LZ, he's feeling more comfortable in this Ford Mustang. He's had a lot of experience behind the wheel of it. You know, starting off at St. Louis Auto Show, and now here he is. He's going to apply the pressure that Buy Now Japan S15. Masuyama gets all the way out there. Adam LZ, early transition into outside zone 2. Straightens out LZ.
Saves it.
Saves it from the wall, but with that mistake, Masuyama and LZ, unfortunately, you saw that. So Masuyama continues. Looks like he will get the win.
Yep.
With Adam LZ, something might have gone wrong there. I really don't think that was driver error.
We'll have to see
that
the
was
replay here.
Yeah, watch the transition. When he comes out of outside zone 1, he transitions and then it just kind of snaps back, almost like a little tank slapper.
Great run from Masuyama. Look how wide he got out to the zone 1, zone 2.
See how it comes out?
I don't know what happened there. We'd have to talk to somebody to see if they'll give us feedback on what they think happened.
Lorette, go talk to Adam.
Yeah,
see
go
that?
talk to Adam. I don't know what happened. That could have been a power steering thing. It could have been an engine turning off thing. I'm not really sure. Let's watch it from the drone initiation. Adam LZ was a little bit slow on his transition there. Could have been a little quicker, but Masuyama gets out wide on 1, great on 2.
See how it snaps back? Like he goes to rotate and transition into 2. 1, he was shallow going from 1 to 2, but then it just straightens out. Fortunately saved the nose to going in the, but watch it again. So So here he goes, transition, boom, and then straight out.
There we go. Yeah, that's lucky for him that he didn't end up in the tire wall. He managed to slow it down. He figured out what was happening early enough and got the car slowed down. So there we go with the countdown clock at just over a minute now. And you can see quite a big crowd around his car. That's people watching to see what's going to happen. Giving him praise and support. You know, they're excited to see if he gets the car fixed or not.
Well, I think you know the outcome of this one. I know there's a lot of LZ fans in the building, but guess what? His day is done. So his maiden voyage in the Mustang, not exactly as it worked out, but still earning his stripes or earning his oval as Wataru Masuyama gets the win in his Buy Now Japan Sylvia S15. And we are back down to the pit. Less than a minute left. This NGK competition time out. So again, we're waiting for the outcome of this. Ryan Lontaine, I think you elaborated on it properly. Look at that, Hurst is sitting in the car. Hey, round of applause for the team. Working hard, trying to get this car up and running. Multiple teams. Jonathan Hurst, the spirit, again, the pride of Paducah, Kentucky. Is this thing closing? Is he buttoning this thing up?
This would be.
Is this about to run?
This would be a heroic fix if they get it out down on the ground. Where's that
We
clock?
got 6 seconds, 5 seconds. We'll find out. Drop that thing, boys. Let's go. And that.
Still up on the jack.
And that's still on the jack. Round of applause for his team.
They hustled.
Unfortunately,
really
yeah,
hard.
they hustled, but it's just not enough. Lorette, down to you. Lorette, I see Hurst taking off his helmet, buying some time. Lorette, down to you. Come on, praise him up, fans.
Well, you guys could see that that was a real effort that was happening here with Jonathan Hurst's team. Michael Essa's team jump in. Kelsey Rollings also trying to help. And as the crowd was around here, just cheering you on, man. Everyone had their fingers crossed for you. I'm so sorry that didn't go your way.
Man, it's just crazy. You know, you can't thank all these people enough. There is no other sport. You know, you see this kind of, or whatever. Just the team, all the teams helping us. Simon Olsen's team, we teamed up with them. All their guys helping. Michael S's team, like Kelsey. I mean, just any Sorensen's, everybody just giving us parts. You know that we didn't have. Just it sucks, but. This was a really bad hit, and to be able to get back across that line would have been took a lot of work, but it's crazy how close we really were. So,
Jonathan, thank you. We sure hope you're okay. Guys, back to you.
Thank you so much, Lorette. And like you said, the camaraderie here, you don't see it in many motorsports. You love it as he gets out of his car. Make sure he can hear you once again, ladies and gentlemen. It's Jonathan Hurst. He can hear you. It's not too far. You can see him right here from the announcer's booth, but that's what it's all about, man. And, unfortunately, he will not be able to compete, but he will advance on. And we have one more battle left. It's the OMT. That means one more time for Dylan Hughes and that of Justin Pawlak. Masuyama does advance on, and you can see that actually will be Matt Field going against Jonathan Hurst, not Ryan Litteral. So that is a little typo there. But when we come back, we'll continue on with our final battle of Top 32, the AutoZone Streets of Long Beach, presented by Type S.
Link is the engine management solution for champions the world over. We know what it takes to win, pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Our tech support our performance specialists, available 24 hours and ready to talk one-on-one about your winning formula. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
How does one car going wild in a mall help us tell the GR story?
You're right.
We need more cars.
Came up a lot of sounds.
more when I was not around. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about.
The Falcon Azenas RT660 is the enthusiast choice for ultra-high performance. Engineered for predictable handling and stability, the RT660 provides maximum traction both on and off the track. Your competitive edge has arrived with the Falcon Azenas RT660.
For those who don't settle when others do, who will give everything but won't give up. For those who believe in unlimited, while others limit themselves. For those who are set free by performance and believe innovation can take you anywhere.
Gambler, boys.
Kendrick Meyer, Supercharged V8, right there. And the film of Lost in the Smoke jumps out. Front clip, Bisco out of the smoke. Alessio starting to put the pressure on. Alex Yeager making his presence known. Retrieving right there, trying to tap behind Chris Stevens.
You ready to lose?
So Kevin and I this year are going to be spending a little bit of time together talking about car setup and a couple more things. And really the reason for this is just because we want to try and give you guys, future drifters, a little bit of insight on what it takes to run a pro drift car or run a drift car at all. So we're going to talk about tire pressure, we're going to talk about shocks, we're going to talk about preparation, we're going to talk about all sorts of stuff.
And maybe go over some rules or two.
Maybe go over some rules. I don't know anything about those. But so yeah, I figured today was a perfect day to get started with it. We're out here at Horse Thief Mile, Willow Springs for a test day. And what do we got?
Let's talk about some tire pressures. Where do you start?
Yeah, so typically for us, we'll start our tire pressure just a little bit higher than I anticipate us ending up, and that only comes from experience, right? So really, your first tire pressure, you can kind of just take a stab in the dark, right? So try it out, something, whatever it is, 20, 30, 25, you know, somewhere around there, inside of your recommended specification for your tire probably. And then as you want more grip and as you get more comfortable, you're gonna dump some of that tire pressure out of there, and that's gonna make your car faster. It's gonna make it transition quicker, it's gonna make it a little bit harder to drive, but it's gonna be faster. So with us today, we're probably going to start the tires at about 14 pounds and go out there, feel the car out, make sure I'm all good, everything's good, and then we'll probably dump them down. We'll probably end up at about 12, and if we're feeling real saucy, we'll probably dump them down to about 10. But this thing is going to be fairly hard to drive once we get down there at that pressure. So.
All right, so what are you throwing on for front tire pressure?
Pretty stable. I like to run mine right about 28 pounds, and that's just kind of where I found my happy point with grip level and steering feel. So that's kind of what I've always ran, and I don't really fluctuate that. Like if I feel like the car isn't behaving the way that I want it to, I'll change something else. Front tire pressure to me is just pretty much locked in at 28.
So just a consistent thing, and you don't want it too low because then it's squishy. And then that type of thing too.
Well, and as the car kind of goes through its caster swing, if you have too low a pressure, I feel like you can kind of get like a little bit of like a porpoising, weird like boat feel in the front, and I kind of like to have that wheel nice and crisp, and that's also why we run a little bit of toe out in the front, but we'll cover that later. So yeah, 28 in the front, we're gonna start this thing at 14 in the rear. Let's go get it.
Sounds good to me.
All right, well, we got one more battle left. The AutoZone Streets of Long Beach presented by Type S. Now, this is our first one more time of the battle, and all things considered, I think it was a fairly straightforward competition. You know, outside of, you know, heart's broken and the car is broken, Jonathan Hurst, you don't want to see that kind of catastrophe, but I'm glad he's okay. And but Dylan Hughes, Justin Pawlak, that's our final battle. But Lorette Nickel, she's got an update for us. Lorette, what's up?
Hi, guys. Well, JTP was in the pits. He called his competition timeout because the car was overheating. He tossed a belt. It was the water pump belt. But he is on his way to the start line.
Right on. Well, that's good. Lorette, if you can, I'd love to find out what happened to Adam LZ. An unfortunate turn of events, or no turn of events, because he didn't turn into that second outside zone. But that AutoZone Ford Mustang RTR Spec 5D on Nitto tires, would love to find out what happened to LZ because of just, you know, I know he's got a lot of fans here, a large fan base, and would love to get some clarification on that. So as Lorette said, JTP making his way to the line. So he called the comp timeout. That could hurt him if he needs one later on, because you only get one and done.
Yes, sir. It's interesting to hear that he had a problem on that run and that that had that overheating issue. We didn't know about that at all. So I was wondering why we were holding up right now, and it makes sense that there was a competition timeout or happening,
utilized.
I should say. Utilized, right? Yep. That's the right word. At that time, looks like they had to maybe split up Kevin and Mini Kevin, Trey, to get over there and actually use his timer over there. Sometimes we have multiple, we have multiple competition time out at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have a couple of people that can handle those at the same time. And that makes sense.
I'll tell you what, Dylan Hughes has been on a tear. He qualified 6th, and JTP's qualification position does not reflect his driving ability. Again, he qualified 27th, and that he went to the not so great 8. He had to go into his second qualifying run because, I don't know if you heard that briefly, but he hit the wall, the battery came loose, shut off the engine, so he had to go to the second run. So, Lorette, nice, well done. Lorette right now is with Adam LZ. Lorette?
Yeah, Jared, thank you so much. They're having a meeting of the minds right now. Chelsea Denofer's right here. Ray Shake is here. She has the ECU hooked up, and Adam, sorry for interrupting, guys. Adam, we just wanted to get a word from you. What happened out there?
Well, you see, it started off with me not having coffee this morning. No, I'm just kidding. I was just a little too heavy in the left foot brake. I was a little closer than I wanted to be at that point in the track, and it's something that I hadn't really experienced in practice. So I got a push in the front end, and from there it was over. Yeah.
Well, Adam, thank you so much. Great to see you out here. The car is gorgeous. We're looking forward to Atlanta, guys.
Thank you so much. So there you have it. Just a little clarification. Put a exclamation point or kind of like a ... TBD, to be continued.
See you in Atlanta.
See you in Atlanta. Dylan Hughes, Justin Pawlak. So again, Justin Pawlak's qualifying position not reflective of his driving prowess on his first qualifying run. Hits the wall, battery comes loose, shuts it down. Dylan Hughes earned it. He's right there, qualified 6th. But right now, our one more time battle. Remember, don't pull the handbrake, boys. Send it. Here we go. The Royal Purple O'Reilly Auto Parts Falcon Tire, BMW out front. Justin Pawlak, JTP in that chase position. There goes Dylan Hughes, the first outside zone. Now transition to the second. Justin Pawlak taking a bit of a shallower line. So it looks like JTP.
Mechanical issue.
He might be having the mechanical issue, unfortunately. You know,
and now what does he not have, Jared?
He doesn't have a comp timeout.
Is there a fire?
It
Is
just
that what you were showing me?
Massive sputtering. No, I'm saying listen up, because you could hear the sputtering. Oh, what a bummer. Such a bummer.
So he's going back to
that's going to be a wrap.
Area. Yeah, he does. If he doesn't have a competition timeout,
that's a wrap.
That is a wrap. If the car won't run, that's a big problem for him.
So that just goes to show you, keep it. It's about attrition. I've heard. You can see the Momo seats, strapping them in, the 4-stars on the corner, and look at that. The Falcon tires wrapped around both sets of wheels of JTP, but we got horsepower on the track, and unfortunately some manpower pushing that Falcon tire Ford Mustang in the pit area. So basically that's going to be a wrap for JTP unofficially. But the word that I keep hearing, and I've heard this from multiple drivers prior to even yesterday's qualifying, attrition. Yep. And keep in mind, Frederick Osbo won one round out of 8, and he's the champion.
Right.
Consistency is key. It's not you need to win, light them up, joking. Forsberg has won a championship without ever winning an event. So it's about consistency, keeping your car together, making sure you show up, you're on the line. That's going to be our theme for 22.
Finishing an event in the top 3, top 4 repeatedly all season long. Those points are being put on the board, The other drivers, you may have a winner, you know, he wins a round, but then he finishes 14th or 15th or something like that. So finishing in that high area repeatedly, that consistency that you're talking about, is going to take you much further than one win and then a lot of poor finishes. Of course, it looks a lot better at the moment to get on the podium and say, oh, I won, but you want to be consistently doing well, getting points, and hopefully we get a run here, a bye run from Dylan Hughes to wrap up our top 32.
Yeah, that will be a wrap. I'm seeing the Hyper NFT Dodge Viper. So a lot of the cars over in the hot pit area, we're just going to clear those out. But Dylan Hughes will put a cap on our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. So the Royal Purple, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Falcon Tires, Permatex, BMW, the 2J under the hood, and a dozer behind the wheel. This will get his bye run. They're clearing out cars in the back. And we will see. Yeah, and just getting some words with the other judges. Ryan, your thoughts on overall our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32?
Pretty exciting top 32, pretty clean top 32. You know, we don't always have a top 32 that doesn't have a lot of drama, let's say. There was one crash from Jonathan Hurst, which was a big one, but overall we only had one more time. The event went smoothly. It's just showing the level of competition that we're at. The drivers are driving cleanly. They are able to repeat their runs over and over again in a safe way, and just showing here at top 32.
And I think so. Dylan looks like he's just going to cruise through. He's not going to put it down there. But I think it was pretty straightforward. No big decisions, but just to build the excitement. I know how it's going to unfold. Is okay. Lighten them up. There we go. Little celebratory donuts. As the dozer, Dylan Hughes, Royal Purple, Falcon Tires, O'Reilly Auto Parts, BMW.
Doing it for the fans.
Doing it for the fans. He's got the bye run. You know what? I don't mind that. Usually it's like you do a run, you cruise through. That's the first time in so many years I've seen just donuts being done, so I'm cool with it. Guess what? That's going to be that's just going to be a great sneak preview of what we're going to see. He's on Falcon Tires. So here's our top 16 bracket. Notably, again, Ryan Tuerck, our #1 qualifier, is going against the young buck, Brandon Sorensen. First, the youngest driver ever to be in a head-to-head competition. Chris Forsberg versus Taylor Hull, Odie Bakchis, Dean Kearney, Rome Charpentier versus Daniel Stuki, Chelsea Nova, Mohan, Osbo versus Castro, all Toyota there. Matt Field versus Jonathan Hurst, but notably Hurst not able to run. Matt Field, guess what? He's in the Grade 8 here at round 1. Dylan Hughes, who we just saw get the win, going against Wataru Masuyama in that Buy Now Japan Sylvia S15. Ryan Lantain, thank you so much. Let's grab some food.
Yeah.
Talk to some fans. Let's go hang out. What are your expectations for 16?
Fireworks, a lot of excitement. These drivers are going to be pushing hard. It's kind of unfortunate when you get two teammates going up against each other like that so early, you know, Osbo and Castro, but it happens sometimes. But I think the drivers are going to be pushing even harder in 16 than they were in 32 because the competition is just going to get more difficult for them going forward.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lantain. This has been a great party already, but the party continues. Guess what? When we come back here on our live stream, tune in, top 16, driver introductions, and a special guest up here in the booth. There's your #1 qualifier. We'll see him in competition, Ryan Tuerck, and that Rain-X brand new Toyota GR Corolla being debuted here internationally. Like I said, special guest, what could it be? Taylor Hull, he's in the mix after taking down that former champ, Michael Essa. The streets of Long Beach is alive and well. Formula Drift is back, baby. That's right, the AutoZone Streets of Long Beach, presented by Type S, continues to crash the party in the motorsports world. Thank you so much for joining us here on behalf of Lorette Nickel, Ryan Lantain. I'm Jared Deanna. Thank you on behalf of the whole FD staff. Top 16 starts local time, 2:45. Taking a look at the PM dial, it is 1:04. So guess what? You got an hour and 40 minutes to do whatever you got to do, but make sure you're back here. Let's just say an hour 30, just to be safe. Hour 45 regardless. 2:45 here Pacific Standard Time. Thank you so much for joining us. FD is back, round 1 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship when we come back.
Link is the engine management solution for champions the world over. We know what it takes to win. Pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Our tech support are performance specialists, available 24 hours and ready to talk one-on-one about your winning formula. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
Came up a lot of sounds, more when I was not around. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about.
The Falcon Azenis RT660 is the enthusiast's choice for ultra-high performance. Engineered for predictable handling and stability, the RT660 provides maximum traction both on and off the track. Your competitive edge has arrived with the Falcon Azenis RT660.
We all know Royal Purple for their exceptional motor oil. They keep my 1,000 horsepower drift car going year-round. And they have an exceptional array of products that help keep your engine's fuel system running clean, powerful, and cool. Royal Purple Max Atomizer cleans fuel injectors to restore maximum flow and get back that fuel economy we all want. Max Clean is a state-of-the-art performance fuel system cleaner that deeply penetrates deposits in your fuel system. Max Clean cleans more parts in your engine and cleans them better. Royal Purple Max Boost is a high-performance octane booster and fuel treatment that helps increase the octane of your fuel. For real. Max Boost is an energy drink for your engine. Purple Ice reduces engine coolant temperatures. It helps prevent overheating and extends the life of your water pump. 4Ways Purple can help your engine. Royal Purple Performance Products. Find them at an auto parts dealer near you.